Somehow, Lord, I've got to make the journey somehow. Oh, the devil's on my track, trying to turn me back. Gotta make this journey somehow. Woo! Lord, I've got to make the journey somehow. Oh, the devil's on my track, trying to turn me back. Gotta make this journey somehow. Woo! I've got to make the journey somehow. Oh, the devil's on my track, trying to turn me back. Gotta make this journey somehow. Lord, I've got to make the journey. Devil's on my track, trying to turn me back. Got to make this journey somehow. Lord, I've got to make this journey. Devil's on my track, trying to turn me back. Got to make this journey somehow. Church, I've got to make it. Oh, the devil's on my track, trying to turn me back. Got to make this journey.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Shouting Gail, and you are viewing The Heat Show. How is everyone doing? If you could do me a favor, I would like you to like the show. There's a button right on the lower left-hand corner, and it's a like button. If you can please hit the like button, and that would help us out a whole lot. Today is a wonderful day. Today is a good day. How has everyone been doing? I tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited every time we come on the air here at the Heat Show, because I'm looking forward to seeing everyone that comes to see us. And Bishop David Jordan will be here shortly. So again, I want to introduce myself. For those of you, this is your first time watching, this is The Heat Show. I am your host, Shouting Gail, along with Bishop David Jordan. And we are The Heat Show. We do a lot of discussions here, some about church, some about life, just a discussion that we would like people to be a part of and join in with the discussion, whether whenever we open up the phone lines or whatever and you call, or if you just communicate with us through the chat. Want to say hello to everyone that's coming into the chat. Please, if you are coming into the chat, whether it be live or the replay, please hit that like button. Hit the like button. How can I do this now? How can I do this? Well, I normally say, if it's your first time, please put a number 1. And if you can hear me, put a number 3. So if it's your first time, put a 13. If you've been here before and you viewed the show before, put a number 23. So that'll help us out to let me know if you can hear me and have you been here before, or if it's your first time. So if it's your first time viewing this show, if you can put a number 13, okay, that means this is your first time and you can hear me. If you've been here before, put a number 23. That means you've been here before and you can hear me by putting a number 3. So 23, if you've been here before, And then a number 13 if it's your first time. Want to say hello to everybody here. I mean, there's so many people coming in right now. We're just waiting again for some more people. Today is an important day. Today is November the 5th, 2024. Okay, November the 5th, 2024. And today is a special day in the United States. We are in the process of voting for a new president. Our choices are Vice President Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump. Did everyone vote? Because, there's still, at the time that we are doing the show, I think the polls are just about to close or almost closing, or they're still open around the country. I think on the West Coast, they're still open and there's still people voting. I think in the Midwest, the polls might be closing. And I believe on the West Coast, on the East Coast, they might be closed. On the West Coast, they're still voting, I believe. So how is everyone doing? You don't have to share on who you voted for, but I voted for the right candidate that I thought could be fair in running this country and for the citizens of the United States. I want to say good evening to Brother Don, to Evangelist Nikki, our Sergeant at Arms. Evangelist Nikki is here tonight, so if you get out of line, Evangelist Nikki will take care of it. I may not see it, and Bishop may not see it, but Evangelist Nikki will see it. So she is the Sergeant at Arms of the chat, and we thank God for her. Also, we want to say good evening to Brother Elijah. Good to see you. Bishop Ray, good to see you. And please share this on your social media pages. Sister Thelma, good to see you. Good to see you. Great to see you. Please like and share. If you can share this show, that would help us out a whole lot. The numbers have been going off the roof when people are watching the Heat Show. So we appreciate that. We thank you for taking the time to even come view to see what we are talking about. We try to give you information, and Bishop and I have discussions, and we just, we talk amongst ourselves, and we thought it would be a good idea to bring it to social media. So with our discussions that we have periodically, we thought, well, let's see what other people think about what we're talking about, because it's just the two of us, and we're having you got my opinion, I got your opinion, but we want to know what other people think about what we're talking about. So want to say good evening to Elder Palmer. Good to see you. It's been a minute. I know you've been in a couple of shows, but I kind of missed you a little bit. I know you've been busy, and that's great to see you. Love that you're here tonight. Also, this week, we have started the first night of the Holy Convocation of the Churches of God in Christ Incorporated, convening in Memphis, Tennessee. Services are going on right now. So we are happy to know that convocation time is here. Holy Convocation is here. We've been talking about it for so many months now. We've been talking about the Holy Convocation, and it is here. And the people are excited about being there. Looking at the service on today, in the morning session, I mean, they're already on fire. It was a great service to watch, and it was a great service, great message. People were coming together, just starting off, and people came together at Mason Temple Church of God in Christ in Memphis, Tennessee, and they were having some church today. I'm telling you, they had some church today, and they're having church right now. Those of you that want to view anytime between now and maybe you want to view after the show or what have you, or you might be viewing the same time that you are viewing this show. But it is Holy Convocation time, and I'm excited about the saints coming together. The saints are coming together, and it's like a family reunion when you go to Holy Convocations. It's like coming to a family reunion because we are all in the family of God. And they're coming together and they're loving on each other. And some people they haven't seen in a while. And you know how you see somebody you haven't seen in a while? Oh man, I'm so glad to see you. It's been so long. Oh, you look good. It's just good to see you. So, you know, this is a time that we're having the Holy Convocation. Also, before we move forward, a scripture I want to share a scripture with you. We're going to come from the 27th division of Psalm. And it says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? May God have a blessing to the hearing, the obeying of his word. We always got to have the word of God every day. Every day I start my day off with a scripture and a prayer of thanks and a scripture to start my day because I need the Lord. I need the Lord in every step of the way. Everything that I do, I need the Lord to guide me in everything that I do. November is the month of Thanksgiving. Although we give thanks every day for the saints, those that know Jesus, every day is a day of Thanksgiving. But the world has set the month of November to be a full month of thanks. And so in that we give extra thanks, continuous thanks unto the Lord for what he is doing for us. Appreciate you so much. Thank God for everybody. It's so nice. Everyone's greeting each other in the chat. It's just a good thing to see. Just a wonderful thing. Sharing love. Sharing love. I was thinking of something not long ago, and you know, we do a lot of preaching. We do a lot of preaching on forgiveness. Do a lot of preaching on forgiveness. Oh, you need to forgive. You need to forgive. But when you're preaching forgiveness, do you really preach? Do you really practice what you are preaching? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. I struggled. Sometimes I still struggle with forgiveness. I can forgive you. I can forgive you. But I had a thing of remembering what I forgave you for, you know. I'm gonna forgive you, but I'm gonna remember what you did. And is that really? I'm just gonna ask a question. When you say you forgive somebody and you remember what they did, is that still forgiveness? I ain't saying. You know, I forgave. I really forgave. But I remember what you did. Is that forgiveness? Somebody help me out here. Somebody help me out. Put it in the chat. When you forgive somebody, are you supposed to remember what you forgave them for? You know, do you remember, or do you just let it go? Do you just let it all go and let it be? You know, we quick to sing that song. Jesus, I never forget what you done for me. Jesus, I never forget. But when you forgive, do you forget what you forgave? Do you let it all ride? Or do you just hold on? Because many years, I forgave a person one time. I forgave a person. I forgave a person one time that came into my life. And things changed in my life. And I had to forgive that person. And I felt that I had forgave them and I moved on. But that thing still bothered me for many, many years. Many years. But somebody needs to explain to me about that. Can we forgive and remember, or do we forgive and forget? Let us raise our left hand and receive Bishop David Jordan. Good evening, Bishop.
Good evening. I think it's the right hand, though, I do believe, but we can raise the left hand today because Gail says so.
Good to see you, sir.
What's going on, girl? Good to see you tonight.
Everyone,
listen,
people out here, they are ready to do what you
listen. The general secretary vote is now open. It is most assuredly now open. Will be open until 6 p.m. on tomorrow. As you can see, there is a QR code. Bishop Joel Lyles is the incumbent. Running is Bishop Robert Rudolph, Elder Damon Stevenson, and Bishop Dickerson Wells. Bishop Dickerson Wells, Bishop Robert Rudolph, Elder Damon Stevenson, and Bishop Joel Lyles. Gil, I mean, do we re-elect Bishop Joel Lyles and he has a investigation and an accusation from the General Assembly that he has been a part of money, $750,000 gone?
I believe that
I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just asking.
I do believe that an investigation needs to continue, and I don't know how they do that. But there has been no it hasn't been settled yet. So I believe I guess he's still safe to run. I mean, it's almost like the presidential.
Okay.
race.
Okay, man. Yeah, I was about to ask that. I mean, it's almost like you have a charge. So, are you qualified to run while you're facing charges?
Well, we see that former President Donald Trump is running, and he has a lot of charges.
Man, he got convictions. Dodger, say you got to prove it on him. I didn't make the accusation. I didn't make the charges. That was Bishop Maynard in the Budget Review Committee of the General Assembly. I didn't make the charges. They're the ones who have made the charges. I guess they've been sitting there for a year now. That's not my charge. I'm just asking the question. I got you, though, Dodger. I'm saying, hey, I guess Is he like Gil? Is he like Donald Trump? Is he running to make sure he doesn't get something that I don't know. Yeah, I think he should have. Yeah, Don Jr. says for real though, he should have recused himself. I think I probably would have, but
It's a sticky thing. The poll is for we're voting for the general secretary position in the Church of God in Christ.
Dr. Andrews, I get it. For those who don't know, Matthew 18, that's about how many times should we forgive? 70 times, 7 times a day. I get it. I don't have a forgiveness to give to to Bishop Lyles because I haven't accused him of anything. But I think either we trust our committees, we trust those who are charged. He's up now speaking, as a matter of fact. Either we trust them, right? You know, it's kind of like the police could do no wrong until and prosecutors and DAs and the Justice Department was a great thing, right, Gail? Up until they started investigating Donald Trump and making accusations against Donald Trump and investigating Donald Trump. Then all of a sudden, well, now hold up, wait a second. You know, the police are corrupt and the DAs are corrupt and people are corrupt and oh, okay. Thank you, Andrews. I'm sorry. But you made a good point because I know some people are probably thinking along the other line of that. Yeah. So please don't take it as I'm coming at you. Yeah. I get you. But there are some people that use that though, Andrew. They are using that and say, wait a second, we got to. But at the end of the day, either we trust. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Remember when the police could do no wrong? And then all of a sudden they start investigating Trump and now they can't, the police can't do no right. It's just one of those. I don't get it. Okay, is it just me? Bishop Lyles has a whole head full of black hair. What?
He is a great barber, a great stylist.
No. Bishop. You know what? I ain't gonna even bother that. I'm not even gonna bother that. I didn't see Bishop Lyles' speech earlier. Yes, yeah. The people's election. Let me explain this because you're asking a great question. Because someone asked that in the comments on yesterday. And actually, Gail, I think they were trying to take a swipe, but I don't mind swipes as long as I can figure out what you're trying to swipe. And so they sent a comment in that got to us and said to us, it didn't play. Okay, all right, thank y'all. Thank you. I was confused over here. Ooh. I was tripping. Anyway, y'all forgive me. I wasn't ready, y'all. I wasn't ready. He just popped up on the screen over there. It's a big screen. He popped up on the screen. I was not ready. Absolutely. Bishop and president are two different. No, I think it's that black spray, Nikki, Nicole, that they now do for your hairlines. They create these hairlines for guys with this black spray. You know what? I'm not going to get into all that. Yeah, bishop and president, two different positions. I don't need the president to watch my soul, I promise you. So, Gail, anyway, someone has said in the comments, well, this is an election for people who will never, who ain't voting in Memphis. And I said, you're correct. You're correct. Because here's the problem, Gail. We claim 6.5 million members, right? We claim 6.5 million members. We have approximately 5,400 delegates who vote. 5,400 delegates who vote. Now y'all gonna get me in trouble with these comments because it's always somebody got a comment about the fact that we laugh over here. We laugh because it's funny. Gail. And people don't realize we're not being silly. We watch the comments. So one of the good things about our show is that we interact with our people. We interact with our people. So sometimes people think it's us, and really we just be responding to what's happening over here in these comments that be hilarious to us. So y'all don't always see it because we don't post it, and sometimes we're just responding to what people are saying. And it is funny. So I don't care what y'all say. If y'all want to find out what we laughing at, go in the comments and figure it out. See, Andrews, you can't. Come on, man. No. I take that back. Andrews, you were okay. So Elijah Andrews says we've had 6.5 million members for a long time. No, do y'all remember we went to 8 million at one point? Remember the claim? You know, we were saying, "Oh, we got 8 million members." Okay, so
but then we have to take a look at the since the pandemic, it dropped down.
So I guess we lost 1.5 million people. There we go. So we're back to 6.5. But here's the thing, though, Gil. And I said this to the person because I'm answering the question of why are we doing this? Why did I say it? We started it off as a poll in September, but I changed it to an election, the people's election, for a reason. Yeah, I'm looking at that too. I'm looking at that too. I've changed it because I said to them, Gil, the reality of it is the delegates are, most people don't realize, less than 1/10 of 1% of the entire membership of this church. And so I wanted to create something where we could hear the people. Because what I've also discovered is that although every jurisdictional assembly is supposed to vote their delegates in, and they're supposed to vote the issues that are voted in General Assembly, because they're not releasing the reports until the General Assembly. People don't know what's going on. The people are not voting. The people's voice is not heard because the delegates that are going, they're not going to vote on anything that the people have voted on or people have given their voice to in their jurisdiction. So I came back and I said, well, let's do this. Let's have a people's election. Why? Because when you look at the election for president, they have two things that they look at: the popular vote and then the electoral college. The electoral college are the delegates, but the popular vote are the people. And so I wanted to give the people an opportunity to speak. And so therefore, we now have the people's election. And so it looks like Bishop Rudolph is most likely going to be the next general secretary if it's going like this tonight.
And I really like him. I liked him as the general adjutant when he was in the over the adjutant department. I really like him.
Yes, he's a really nice guy. He's a good guy, really nice, and he's smart. And I believe he came out of the secretary's office before he was made the adjutant general. Yeah. I believe he came out of the secretary's office. Oh man, they got Bishop Wooten up. Oh, Bishop, you can do your best. I mean, he's trying to make it. God bless him, help him.
You heard me say many times.
Okay, assistant secretary. That's what I was told. But he's a really nice guy. I like Bishop Rudolph just as a person. It's just as a person, I like him. I'm gonna wait till it's over to tell y'all who I want to win.
I'm not.
You know what? I am not. See there, Andrew. See there. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm trying not to laugh tonight. Though. They say I laugh too much. I try not to laugh. They say we're not serious over here, and yes, we are. But we're not starchy.
No, they said we serious, but then we don't stay serious. It's one person. By the way, I'm going to deal with that person. Was that the Levi person? You know, is that who said that?
I can't remember. I can't remember. No, yeah, it might have been. They
Okay.
have said things before though,
Okay.
but they know who they are.
Okay.
You know who you are.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Let me do this. 'Cause,
Please like, and you can share if you like. But we really,
because I know. Listen, Sister Young, I'm going to help somebody out. So just just Dallas, pray for me for 1 second. Because we there's this person who decided, Gail, that they wanted to jump in and send us emails, talk real reckless and crazy. And I think that was today, right? It was about, what was it, about 42 minutes ago?
sometime this afternoon.
I think it was about 42 minutes ago. Um, and so you and I got off the phone. I said, hey, let me get off the phone. Let me take care of something. And then I called you back and I said we were ready for the show. So he had a tag that had his @ YouTube name. And Gail, I keep telling people I am not that guy. I'm not that guy. My job used to be in the jurisdiction that I've been part of was to vet people. That means that my job was to find you, find out all your dirt, find out everything it was about you. I had a team who did that with me because I had the ability to do it. And so I'm the kind of person that most of my family and friends know that if I want to find out what you're doing, I can do that quite quickly. Matter most of the time, minutes. And so I choose not to do that with some people that I'm connected to, some people I'm related to, some people that I am family with, just because it keeps me out of jail. Yes, a screening committee, if you will, Andrews. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm going to say this to Mr. Elder Levi Dent, because I did find out that's your real name. And what I don't want to do is send people to 1623. Now, because you know your own address, I won't pretend to be prophetic, but stop playing with me. I am not that guy. Okay. You've been trying to be famous since the 90s when you were submitting articles to the Whole Truth. And they wasn't publishing your stuff. They published you one time. Stop playing with me. Because I do not want to have to, for any other reason, pop up to that 3-bedroom, 2-bath you live in. Okay? I want you to stop playing with me. And in case you thought I didn't know your middle name was Roy, I know your middle name is Roy. Stop playing with me, sir. Do not come back in my comments and don't play with me no more. All right? I want you to do that. Next time, I'm going to publish your phone number that ends in 16623. I'm going to publish that and the rest of your stuff, and then I'm going to send them people. Stop playing with this. Don't make me come to Virginia on you. Now, whatever you did in Oregon, when you lived in Portland, listen, don't make me send you back there. Stop playing with me and stay out of my comments with your stupidity, because I'm not that guy. And I want you to understand that I'm not that guy. Okay? I don't do stuff because I choose not to, not because I cannot. I'm really about that life. And I want you to understand that. Now, you played with jives some years ago, and you done played with other people, but don't play with me. Now, you know, Gail, I had to tell Bishop Wooden person that the other day. Because, see, I don't really play those kind of games. Stop playing with me. I'm not that guy. I find you for fun, and then I find you for reasons. So there you go. You better listen to sister. You better listen to Evangelist Young. Still a rabbit tricks are for kids. Stay out of my stuff. All right? Now, again, on this platform, people, you are free to disagree. You can make any comments you want to. You know, we don't care nothing about it. We will have a good time with you. We can discuss it. You might even convince me. But what you cannot do is get reckless, because I don't play like that at all. I don't play like that at all. Don't get reckless with me. The worst thing you can, I told y'all, stay off my radar. If I ain't checking for you, don't come over here with that. I ain't checking for you. I ain't looking for you. That's right. It's all about respect. Like that. I don't care nothing else about the rest of the stuff. I'm a real one. Let me just say it like that. I'm a real one. I'm a real one. And if you know, then you know. I don't play like that. Don't come over here with that. I don't like to get down like that. So the best thing you do, stay out. You know, you want to make a comment, you feel some kind of way, be respectful. That's right, sister. It's all about respect. Just be respectful. And you can say whatever you want to say. We get criticized all the time.
Jesus, keep me near the cross.
we get criticized all the time. Y'all would even have no idea. We get criticized. We don't get negativity, but we do get criticism all the time, right?
You don't know.
Well, you know what though, Sister Moore? Because Sister Moore said these are fake people trolling you. No. See, I'm the person that will find the troll. And see, when you come in here with these fake names, as long as it's something stupid, I don't even really care about it. Don't come in threatening me. Don't come in talking reckless. I am not that guy at all. At all. Y'all got to pray for me. I'm still trying to be. I'm 100% saved, but I'm still working on deliverance.
In the words, Bishop, if I may, in the words of the late Pastor Duranis Pace, leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone. God can handle it better than you can. Leave it alone. Leave us alone.
See, Gail know how to see Don. See that. Gail know how to get me back on track, because y'all got to pray for me, y'all. Y'all got to pray for me, man. I be trying not to, man. Hey, it's still a lot of South Central in here, and y'all got to pray for me, man, because Jesus.
This is not just a online thing for Bishop Jordan and myself. We have
Mother Kelly on the phone. Pray for
we have had years of being where we are right now. So we cover each other, and I thank God for that. Because there have been some situations that God had to move. And he moved quickly.
Bishop McClellan only got 45 churches?
2021, Bishop Charles H. McClellan.
Where?
Bishop Shear just said he's got 45 churches. He only got 45 churches?
Where?
The leadership conference.
Wait a minute. You crazy. Are you saying that he does he have 45 churches?
I know two.
Come on, the Bishop Gray Street is in the building. I'm trying to tell you. Is he? Man, boy. Y'all got to pray for me, man. What? Woo, help me, Jesus. Help me. Y'all pray for your boy, man. Just pray for your boy. Because sometimes I forget. And so, I did not know he had 45 churches. Well, okay.
Really?
That's what he just said. Did anybody know that?
What year?
He said right now. He said he has built it up to 45 churches. He literally just said that.
Let me find out. Cause you know I can. Woo!
Thank you, Sister Moore. I really try. I know that I know that there are people who come over here to try to get me off my square, to the extent that they want to see me crash out. They want to see me they want to be able to have something. They say, see he don't have the right temperament. I had a bishop call me, Gail, back in 2022, while all of that was going on, and I was trying to fight within the church and not outside the church. And the bishop called me and said, "Man, be careful." He said, because they want to show that you don't have the temperament to be chairman. They want to show that you fly off the handle, whatever. And I said, listen, let me tell you something. In 2010, I went to General Assembly. And I was in General Assembly. It was the first time I'd ever seen this person. And it was this man. He was about 6'2", 6'3". And he was towering over somebody, and he was doing him like that, pointing his finger in his face, telling him what he was going to do to him. Do you know who that was, Gail?
Who was that?
The Bishop, J. Drew Shear. He wasn't bishop at that time. He was being made bishop that year. But somebody had said something to his father, and he was going off in General Assembly. And I said, if Bishop Shear can have the temperament he has, then certainly I can have the temperament I have. Y'all just have to pray for me. I'm not going to dox. I ain't going to put his number, well, I might if he keep playing with me, but I know doxing is illegal in Texas. And since I'm in Texas, then I have to be careful on my side. I wouldn't do that to him, but I would send somebody to his house.
Most of the people that will view this show are adults. And
he's 70 years old. He's a 70-year-old cancer survivor. Man, go find something else to do with your time. What are you bothering me for?
And respect.
That's right. The presiding bishop's number one phrase is, "I ain't scared of none of y'all." Now, what you worry about my demeanor for? See, that's what I'm talking about. All the good chairmen that we had were like me. They were bad about it. Bishop Ford was one of the scariest people in the church. They still talking about him today.
Sir, please. Zero tolerance. I heard it come out of his mouth in a state meeting. He would take a pastor's church if they talk back to him.
Well, I guess there's still no other way.
I know. I've sat in service where a pastor got mad with Bishop Ford in a state meeting. And Bishop told him to sit down. He got up, and he was a big dude. He got up and walked out, and he said, "I'm taking your church."
That's how that's how they used to do. The bishops used to walk in and put you out and put somebody else in at the same time, and walk right out. Here you go. Here's your new pastor, and walk out. Oh, she's singing this. There is no other way, though. Do we believe that they're going to sing this song again this week?
Mm-hmm. They sing it every. They've been singing it for the last 3 years.
Ooh, I need somebody to stand up like Nathan Simmons. Hold on, choir. We gonna need to hear another song. We gonna need to hear another song. Y'all been singing this one. Y'all have sung this one to death. But you know what? Let Sister Jackie let Sister Jackie Chisholm sing. Look like she got a new anointing on her life. I need a new song. God bless you.
Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you.
Simmons did that. Stop. That listen, we done heard this. We've been hearing this all week long, all convocation long. Now we need to hear another song. We need to hear.
That thing went viral. I mean, that thing went viral. Oh.
And he did that in the 90s. I mean, they done got up and somebody killed in the comments just on Sunday said that he was gonna sing "God Wants a Yes" and I'd be doggone if he did not sing it.
Did it Sunday night?
I said, you know what, y'all ain't saved. Y'all ain't saved.
For 3 years. 3 years, Bishop, same song.
That's right. He cut him off mid-stanza. See, somebody gonna think it's me saying this. I want them to know that this is Dr. Andrews that is letting y'all in mid-song. Brother musician. Oh my God, Brother Williams. We done heard this song. We done heard this song every year for the past 3 years. I need y'all singing another song. I need y'all sing another song, man. Oh my God, Ricky gonna be there. Ain't Ricky gonna be there this week? I mean, come on. Then Ricky gonna have to sing it. So we're gonna hear this 2 or 3 more times.
No, I don't think he'll do that. He'll do the other one. Got to hold on. We'll do the hold on.
God, today.
Probably do the hold on song.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm not playing with Wisconsin tonight. I'm not playing with Wisconsin tonight. Well, God bless them. Okay. I miss Nathan Simmons. Nathan Simmons told the truth for real.
Oh God.
Nathan Simmons would come to convocation and clown them bishops right in their face.
Oh boy.
Call them mother. I remember the first time I heard Nathan Simmons call them district missionaries and supervisors. Y'all act like some hoes. I said, oh my.
Bishop Michael Hill said that went viral.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't know.
Bishop Michael Hill was preaching. He said that about those ladies, those people.
Yeah, he said it for real, dog. He said it for real. Nathan Simmons said it for real. Y'all in here acting like hoes. I said, my God, Nathan Simmons was in convocation and said it. My God, today. I said, I couldn't believe it. And I was young, so it was really spicy to me for him to have said it right over the pool. I said, man, I was thinking it, but I didn't know you could say it. Nathan Simmons wasn't scared of nothing. And the way that he talked, girl, you would have thought Nathan Simmons was older than he was 43 when he died. Nathan Simmons was a young cat. He was like a young cat, man. But Nathan wasn't scared of nothing. Nathan wasn't scared of nothing. All right, looks like is Bishop Lyles getting any votes? Where we at? Look at what we got going on over here. For those of you who are just now coming in, we are in the middle of our vote for general secretary right now. My God, Bishop Rudolph is at 71%. Bishop Wells is at 29%. Bishop Lyles is okay. All right. Well, okay. Yep. Okay. Oh, good night. Bye. Bishop.
I saw the clip. I saw the clip on Instagram. Elder Andrews, I saw the clip on Instagram.
Gail, did you send the, I don't know who Damian Stevenson is, to be quite honest with you. I've been asking, but I don't know the answer. I don't know who he is. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell us.
Well, that's wonderful. He should be there. I would not see why he would not be there.
Who is that?
There's a comment that said Earl Carter said he is headed to Memphis. He said somebody paid for his plane ticket.
Probably Bishop Shear. I know he's helped him out in the past, so don't
I've never
nobody
known
get
him
up, jump all in the comments.
I've never really known him to miss though.
No, I know that Bishop Shear has helped him in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
When
What
has
is he gonna cry loud at the gate for? What is he crying for?
Well, maybe he's coming for the 10th year anniversary.
What is he crying loud for? Crying loud to say what? What is he gonna say? Y'all better help me.
Well, it's the 10th year anniversary.
Yeah, he probably hoped him. You sure right. I don't understand. What? He coming loud to cry. What is he? What is this? What is it? What is he complaining about now? What's happening now?
He says someone has said he's coming to tear it up.
Oh my God.
My mother was 39 years old when she gave birth to me.
Someone said, who's paying for the hotel?
That part.
She came out to pray for her. God turned it around. For some reason, she did not pray and ask God to give her another son that she can give back to the Lord. And I showed up. Thank God my mother prayed for me. And I thank God tonight in her memory. I'm blessed to be in this place. I have some relatives in the here that stand. I think the city hall.
Oh my God. He is the most boring. My God. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. Forgive me, that Bishop. My God, it's like if he will just never stop. He still ain't preaching yet. See, now I know what I'm talking about. He hearing the same stuff I'm hearing. You know what? I'm gonna turn this. You know, it can't turn on nothing.
9 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock. I mean, come on now.
I don't know if he's gonna preach or not. I wish he would start if he's. I mean, ain't he the main speaker, right?
Yes.
Oh, he's trying to drag it out to 10 o'clock. Get started. He done introduced everybody in history. He's thanking all of his church members, and Bishop McClelland is speaking. Well, he's not speaking yet. He's talking. Oh, you know what he's going to preach about? He is thinking. I tell you, he is thanking everybody in the world.
I wonder where the timekeeper is. You know, don't they have a timekeeper? You know.
He's got a verse in 2 poems. You know, is he long-winded? I feel like he seemed like he's long-winded. If he's not, you know, if somebody told the speakers, Gail, there is a speaker that's speaking this week that told the speakers, if the presiding bishop don't preach for 20 minutes, you shouldn't preach more than 20 minutes.
Well, we know that ain't gonna happen Friday. They got to pack a lunch, dinner, and a snack.
And a snack. Todd can keep them there till times get better. Would you please text Bishop Hankerson and tell him to help his brother come on? Thank you, Sister Monroe. What is he doing? I'm serious. If you ain't watching it, you don't know. This is what? Come on.
It's not in vain in the Lord. Philippians chapter 2, verses 20.
He even reading slow. Man, come on. If this was a Baptist convention of deacons, would have cut the lights off. See, somebody gonna think it's me. It is not. I'm responding to the comments, and they are hilarious.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, a solid. God, Junior, you make me think you don't know who Todd Hall is. 2 hours, that's 3.5. They gonna be there at midnight.
I think that's why he's on Friday.
They normally only invite them to Revival Fire. They been there 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you know, most of the time that I've known that he has been a guest, it has been for Revival Fire.
Mm-hmm.
In that you have ministered to the saints and do minister.
Oh, what is your thought?
Wait a minute.
It's for what it is God. Which work up to will and to do. It's good pleasure.
Oh.
The Lord gave me a word, and I believe your name is on it. Look at somebody, don't smile and say your name is on this one. And the word
What's the word?
is working in you. And it's in your favor.
God is working in you, and it's in your face. You know what? No. Nope. Tuned out right there. The last year preacher. I guess he taking his time, man. Hey, listen, I get it. He's not long. Okay, I'm sorry, folks. Michael, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You one of my partners. He doing too much. I have to say what he got to say. Come on, come on. Y'all forget. See, this is why I don't like. This is why I don't do this, because you never. You know, I mean no offense. I really don't. You know what, Gil? I'm not. You know, that's why people say we be laughing too much.
I love you guys. You guys keep.
Thank you, sir. Come on, you know your bishop. Come on. Sometimes you just gotta accept what it is. Accept what God allows.
The Bible says laughter is like a medicine. I'm in top.
Man, I don't know. CJ say, what happened to protocol has been established? I wish they would bring that back. It took 20 minutes for Bishop to get to actually to give us. This is a very long title. This is Bishop. Let me see if he don't get better.
Joy in jail. He writes from jail. He said, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I said, rejoice.
Yes, the Holiday Inn. I meant to post that last night when we were doing the show. The Holiday Inn sent out emails letting folk know that they were canceling their rest. I don't know how they thought that was going to happen. Gail, they sent them emails telling them we're canceling your reservation and your money will be returned to you in how many ever days. And I was told they gave them one, and from the email that I saw, they gave them one option of another hotel. Man, listen, and ain't nobody hardly there too. This is just, it's a tough Tuesday's a tough. You know what though? Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are staying home because of the hotel stuff. Tuesday is a tough night. I got to give it to I understand this position. that Bishop McClelland. That Tuesday is a tough night because it's the first night and ain't nobody hardly there.
But there are people within the city of Memphis. Come on now.
Is it really, Martha? See, I ain't even in that.
Oh my God.
Listen, let me tell y'all, Bishop McClelland seems to be a really nice guy. From all that I can tell, I've only had a couple of interactions with him. Seems to be a really nice guy. But why is he sweating so much? Is it hot up there? I'm talking about he is sweating like it is hot up there.
Might be nervous. Or if he didn't take his meds, take his medication.
That's what I was told. Elijah Andrews says he's a very nice man. That's what I was. I mean, my interaction with him, he's always been really nice. I don't know him to be. I know people. There's some in Wisconsin who have different opinions of him. I don't personally know him to have a bad opinion about it. He's always seemed nice to me. I don't know what is he nervous about it? It ain't nobody there.
But it might be more than what he has regularly.
I guess so.
It's a tough thing. To speak at the national convocation, I would think would be nerve-wracking as well. I mean, I would be nervous to speak at the national.
Well, you know what though? Let's be real. I know. 3 or 4 best. I think honestly, this is an election year, and when you have to preach like this, you're preaching for your seat. And you got to know that if you go to Flunkersville, you are not getting back on the general board. That's for sure. You're really preaching for your seat.
I'm not sure if my former pastor was nervous when he preached.
Help him, please. Somebody help him.
I think he preached in 2019 or 2018. I think he might have been nervous. Actually, what is the election results now? Since we are talking, what are the elections?
I know that's why ain't nobody at the service. I don't know. I stopped looking because you can't trust. I was looking at the wrong news, and of course they were trying to say Trump was winning. I don't know. Let me see.
What is CNN saying?
I don't know. You can't trust CNN right about now either.
Oh, breaking news. Trump takes Texas and Ohio for 18 states win.
Well, of course he's going to take Texas. I'm not shocked by that. If he didn't take Texas, that'd be more of a story, right? Yeah, Joe Lyles should most assuredly resign. I don't even know why he running. Dr. Moses Tyson in the building. Good to see you tonight, sir. Let's see what is going on. Election decision 2022.
Harris 99 electoral votes. Donald Trump.
The last time that I saw it was like 129 to something, but let's see what it is right now. It's nationwide. Donald Trump is at 52%. Kamala Harris is at 46%. Wow. That's the popular vote. Told you it's always a popular vote. Right now, she's at 81 and he's at 201. Uh-oh. Well, the West Coast ain't came in yet.
Right.
So,
still open.
Who won the presiding bishop poll? Bishop Linwood Dillard by a lot.
Well, it seems to be that as of right now, Trump has won Utah, Montana,
He's
Missouri,
got Texas, Florida, yeah.
Nebraska, Ohio, Wyoming, Louisiana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Arkansas, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Alabama, Mississippi, West Virginia, Indiana, Kentucky, so far.
Kel, can you put the link up to the General Secretary vote?
Okay, let's see. One moment, please.
I think that's all the states that you expect him to win, though. Maybe with the exception of Ohio. Ohio wasn't really a swing state.
Okay, one moment. We will have the link up in just one moment.
So right now you have Harris with 91 electoral college votes. Trump has 178 as we currently stand. Okay, Dr. Andrews, the link is in. Gail, I'm gonna tell you what's really important is that House and that Senate. That's what you gotta keep an eye on. Crazy people in the Congress. You know, this is just an overall bad Tuesday. Like, my God, I got to look at this crazy. I agree. I don't necessarily believe that Bishop Lyles should be reelected, not because he's not a likable guy. I just think he's got too much going on, and we need, I think we need new blood in the Secretary's office. He's been there a long time.
This is Pennsylvania, yes. You asked earlier about Wilkes-Barre, Luzerne County. That has flipped red, at least now 57% of the vote in. Donald Trump racking up some numbers there in an area where Democrats had some hopes to build things up. You can also see what's starting to happen in the western part of the state. We've got some significant numbers north of Pittsburgh and Butler County. This is a place where Donald Trump is coming close to his benchmark number. Really, this is a function of a lot of vote coming in the rarer parts of the state. We still have a lot to go in Philadelphia. That's kind of this by far the biggest city. We're seeing Delco go very strongly for Kamala Harris. She's outperforming where she would need to be, also outperforming where Joe Biden was. And same story up through Montgomery. And this still
looks like she might get Philadelphia. I mean, looks like she might get Pennsylvania.
Unclear exactly what kind of vote that is. But at least now, Kamala Harris outperforming that benchmark. So
Elijah Andrews says Lyles knows what Biden's wrong. That is a problem. But you know what? I don't think it should be, if I'm just being honest, I don't think it should be, because at the end of the day, if you're not elected, you're not reelected. I think that might be important if they were trying to push him out, then sure, maybe I think he should have got ahead of it. I think whatever happened with the whole art system and the money and whatever, if it had nothing to do with him, I think he should have said it. And I think he should have said it way before now. I think he should have did what Bishop Frank Anthony White did, which was stood up at the General Assembly and said, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't touched nothing. And I want to know where it is too. That's what he should have said.
Well, maybe he thought no one would really try to look into it. It would be an oversight.
It was too late. Bishop Maynard was on the podium at the time talking about nearly $800,000 of missing money. Bishop Patterson got up, Charles Patterson got up and said, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Bishop Frank Anthony White got up, went to the microphone and said, let me be clear. This is not a financial secretary office issue. We want to know where the money is too. He should have got up. If it wasn't him, he should have got up and said, hey, this is Brother Powell's, where you at? And took care of whatever he needed to take care of. And the fact that he didn't do that was just not wise. And I'm disturbed by all this black hair. I'm just disturbed by it. It's disturbing. Okay, did anybody check out the musical? Gail, we got to get to the musical. Did anybody check out the musical? Because Gail is our resident music aficionado, gospel music aficionado. But Cleveland is hooping. Let me get back over here. What in the world? Hold on, Jesus.
Yeah,
I got to hear this. I got to hear this for myself. I've never heard it.
One is standing up.
I got to hear this hooping. I never heard it. Hell, have you heard it before? I didn't know that he hooped.
No.
Oh my God. Nobody told me. Oh my God, I can hear it. Oh God. Okay. That is April, huh?
They remind me of Bishop Wooten.
It must be hot up there. Bishop is sweating. It's hot up there. Sir, you are too cool with them white glasses on. Oh, he sounds like an older COGIC bishop.
Sounds like Bishop Wooten to me.
He does. Bishop Lyles let his soul flow. I'm not fooling with you tonight.
You know what? If it hit Bishop Lyles, I hope whatever color they was using, I hope it don't start dripping. Because you know that color runs.
I think it was a little bit.
It started running down the side of the brow.
You'd be up there looking like Rudy Giuliani. They are not. Listen. All right, Bishop. Do your thing. You know what's really crazy, Gail, and because I'm looking at the people in the seats, and I love our church, but that excitement that you see at others' convocations, I'm just not seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
Woo! In order for people
Oh,
to,
okay. He came out of Bishop Henderson. Okay.
in
Wasn't
order,
Wisconsin at one point like just a one state? They didn't have multiple bishops? Or am I tripping?
to my knowledge, since I've been in this church, it used to be 3 that I know of. I don't know how the other ones came. I really only knew about Bishop Flakes, Bishop Morris, and that was from Wisconsin first. But I think with Bishop Morris, he was the presiding prelate before Bishop Flakes was, and then there was Bishop Daniels. Now
Is
there was a
the
Bishop.
yeah, is the AC not working up here? What in the world is going on? I don't think I've ever seen. Folks, I'm not sure. I've never seen Bishop McClellan. What is it? Does he know this? I've never seen him spit. Ever.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he gonna read the whole thing he got going on. Okay. Okay, he wrote out his manuscript. Okay, he gonna do the whole. Gotcha. Yep, I'm still up there. I want them to stop showing all these empty chairs in this.
They need to make the people sit closer together. You know,
Oh, he always would. Okay, I've never seen him preach then.
Mhm.
This is my first time.
Oh, wow. They have to make sure that he has water up there then.
Yeah, he's supposed to be dehydrated.
Yes.
His whole head is sweat. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. He definitely, if he
I
does
thought it
that,
was just me. They look tired.
if he does that, then he really he has to change clothes after he preach and have a towel around his neck and stuff like that. And he can, especially with the weather in Milwaukee.
Who is on that organ? Get up, get off. What they got going on over there? They can't figure out what kid. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That drives me crazy. Now you really want to drive me crazy. That's it right there.
That might be his organist. Who knows? Like you could bring your own organist.
He done set them down. They don't know organists can do that. Stop playing and they will, I promise you, they'll change their whole mood. It is.
It might be Pastor Cody Mitchell on the organ. Remember, he started playing the organ.
I have not played.
Woo! He might be on the organ. Who knows?
No, Marco. Falk say he always sweats like that's his bishop. He said he sweat like that all the time. I didn't know. That's the story.
Let me see. What is the temperature in there?
I agree. That is kind of crazy, right? You know what? That's a great point. That's a great point Louisiana made. Where are my Baptist people at in the room? Don't believe in women preachers or voted for Kamala Harris. Come on here.
Yeah, don't believe women need to lead.
He does sound like Bishop. Bishop Wooten looks like he should have a seat. He doesn't look. Okay, Marco said he just got, okay, that's a fresh word right there. Okay, no air. Okay, we got the reports coming in. What is wrong with, are we not paying bills? What is wrong with us?
Okay, so we debt free, but then the people burning up in the.
Listen, we don't own the Cook Convention Center. We do not own the Cook Convention Center. So if it's hot in there, that's on them.
Debt free, then and they should have had the money to pay the money. The money should have been paid to have air.
Don't suck up all that stuff they telling you. The moment you start believing that you only went down there. It might be good, but you have to believe what you.
That's a good thought, though, Doc. That was a good thought.
Look at the name says say something.
Okay, that's his organist playing. Okay, well, God bless him.
Did not say that. Did not say that's probably his organ. It's 70 degrees in Memphis, so it's hot.
Be the name.
It's hot in
I
there.
know we got theologians in here. But can I tell you tonight? The devil was the instrument, but God was.
Bishop look like he's trying to figure out how to wrap it up. Bishop, wrap it up.
The devil can do no more than the God allows him to.
Just don't want him to get overheated
Read up the book.
and hot up there.
God strong, but
And you got the stage lights and everything.
I said cursing. I said cursing. Curse the day he was born, curse the one that brought the news. He just about everything he could curse, he would curse. But he wouldn't curse God.
Oh my God.
42nd chapter, Job said this. When God finally said, Job, standing like a man, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What were you, Job?
Somebody help Bishop. What is going on?
Let him sit down, because I, you look like,
You see him here?
yeah, you need to let him sit down.
But then Job said, this blows my mind. 42nd chapter, Job said, I heard thee.
But he's trying to stand with his power.
But now I see it.
Oh, the musician missed his opportunity right there. He tried to drive somewhere.
But most often, we still not looking back. That's why all of us at some point in life have said, well, now I see. You didn't see it when you were here.
He missed him. This is see. This is, you know what though? Listen, all my musicians, you should watch stuff so you can see, so somebody can train you on when to hit it, because he's missing it. Come up to 91, 95.
See.
Well, you know, Kamala Harris gonna get all the count. She's gonna get all of New York. Yes, see you. Yes, Bishop. Come on.
Or whoever is over there, the MD over there should be able to tell the organist
I
when
am
he
done.
gets they can be able to see.
I am done with you today.
He would be the eye for the organist. Come on now.
Everybody standing.
Oh, yes.
Verse 6.
Yeah, another verse.
Surely, goodness, mercy
They need to keep an eye
shall
on.
follow me.
Hopefully they have
It's tough. This it's tough this year. You ain't never lied. I'm done with you too, by the way. Just want to keep it up. Got to give.
Talk about difference in my head. And then the psalmist said to himself, "To all the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple." And then
It's 9:25. Bishop is enough. Like do not to call.
and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Somebody tonight in the anointing room.
Bishop. Bishop. Woo. He asking him, he's begging him to help him close his sermon. Bishop, we trying to help you close. Oh, he look like he need to be in the bed.
Let God do it. Stay on the wall. Keep the faith. Stay focused.
Look at Daryl Hines clapping like, oh, God. You know what? He is going. Bishop Daryl Hines is shut up, Gail.
And they churches is right down the street from each other.
Bishop Daryl Hines talking about. You can't do the turnaround. Bishop Hankerson got the turnaround. You can't do the turnaround.
No. See, look, no.
Reb Turtle, you know what's wrong.
Why do they always want to shout the folk after they preach? This is what I don't.
I don't know. This is not a shout message.
That's not a shout message. Can't they just finish the message and then, put
He don't know how. Somebody help him down. He doesn't know how to get down. Bishop.
This is
Now
why
he got to raise that offering now.
Now, see, this is why your vote is very important for those 12 seats.
The bishop will turn around. I am not even fooling around with this comment section tonight. Y'all are crazy. Please don't sing Marvin Sapp song.
In this room, you gotta look him on. God's hand is on it.
He's a nice guy.
God's hand is on
Bishop
it.
McClelland is a nice guy.
Don't you get nervous in the
He's
service.
possibly a good pastor and a good bishop.
You even now.
I don't know.
I'll give you the spirit.
Well, I mean,
That's fine.
people like
I would have to ask my sister because that's her bishop.
Sure you keep the joy. Because the joy.
there are no time restrictions, but Sister Monroe, I guess not.
I
bet you they'll implement one after tonight.
My sister's pastor is in that jurisdiction.
I
So
have a testimony. That if it had not been for you, I would not have made it. But here I am, Lord. Somebody said, Lord, here I am. To tell them your goodness. That, Lord, you did it again. You brought me out again. Lord,
He tried. He tried.
thank you. Somebody just want to say thank you. Oh, yeah, Mama, give God some thanks, everybody. Come on, take a look. Right there. Come on,
Well, that camera is working overtime.
who is that? Is that kid?
I don't. What?
That is
Wow,
Lady
that's a
Karen.
lot.
Is that Lady Karen?
I don't believe that's Lady Karen here. She would not be sitting on the floor.
Ooh.
I like Bishop Rudolph as well. And he has got 71%. 70. Yes.
And I want to thank you for it right now. Clap your hands and thank you right there. Clap your hands.
Once again, we thank God.
God.
The Holy Convocation has started on tonight, and we're looking for.
I told you he got to raise this offering.
Okay, but I just want you to respect the moment. I want you to respect the moment.
Go on, Bishop Wilson, have a seat,
You know,
please.
before we got saved, where we went, we didn't rush.
That should help him.
In fact, some places we went.
Maybe you don't need
Can we do a watch along every night? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can do. Well, we got to come back tomorrow night for the results of the general secretary, and then Thursday is the financial secretary, and Friday we got to come back for the results. So yeah, we're gonna do this just about every night, y'all. We just we're gonna enjoy the convocation together. Come on, look at it.
By popular demand, they want us to come back.
They just turned the arrow. What is going on in Memphis? Memphis does not want us there. They want us gone. Memphis is tired of us. They firing us without even trying to fire.
Listen to me.
It just turned the arrow on.
I want you to sow into this moment.
That's not a good thing.
All I want you to do is get $21.
That time to bed. Did I miss the altar call?
Pastor,
Did I
Pastor,
miss the
Pastor
altar call?
Turner, are you there? Pastor Turner should be there. Pastor Turner, you there? Because I know you said you were packing. You must have arrived in the city, Pastor Turner the third. Are you there? Because let us know that you were packing and heading out for the Holy Convocation. So hopefully you there.
Bishop Shear just pulled out his black card. Bishop, I need that card right there. Bishop J. Drew Shear got a black card. Come on here. Praise the Lord.
There's a blessing released to you. Going to be released to your gift.
You know, Memphis is really a Baptist city, so you know. What else about it?
Right now. Father, I thank you for the release.
They're giving us a hard time. What's wrong with Memphis?
They tired of us.
They're giving us a hard time. Y'all got to go. With short staff.
Come on, y'all know y'all gonna raise $20 at the end of every message. Why don't y'all just gonna get you some change and pull out all these American Expresses?
Use a Giveify. Giveify. Don't do that. Don't raise. They shouldn't be raising too much money up in there. That's a blessing that we have never had any.
Oh, you show right. That is. This is not that forgiving. This.
You done turned the air off.
You know how they normally go up to you and give you a hug. They are not really doing that right about now. They just, man, you did the best you could.
Shake your hand. Yeah, shake your hand. Good message.
Bishop Ray said his cash app is available. While we're raising offers, his cash app is available. It did the best you can.
Oh my Lord.
What a word. This time.
They should have people get by, electronically. It's safer.
Is that what Dorinda do? I can't even see Dorinda. They must have had a shot of us.
It is safer to raise offering electronically.
Did he say beep beep? Did Bishop William just say beep beep? You know what? They looking at him. Look how they looking at him. Gail, are you seeing this? They are looking at him like he done lost his mind. Bishop William got to the microphone talking about beep beep. What, Bishop? Are you? What's wrong with you? I came with Bishop Wooten tonight. Bishop, what is? He said beep beep.
All clear.
Oh, she'd have made a lot of money off that makeup and that clothing line. Yeah, Sister Dorinda Clark Cole. I moved to a maritime Bishop Wooten right now. I second the motion. I'm not going there with you tonight about Bishop Wooten. I am not doing it.
I think
What
it
is
was
he
wise.
doing?
He might need some water or something something.
Yeah, where you get that from? Why?
He might need
Why does
some
he
water.
need water?
I don't know. Talking about beep beep and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
What is taking so long to take up this offer? There ain't that many people in there. What is taking so long? Now, Gail, are you looking at this shot that I'm looking at?
Yes.
Do you see all them empty chairs versus that shot that they gave a second ago that made it look like the building was full?
Yes.
You know what? These camera people are geniuses.
The people
Bishop
know.
Wooten stood up there to hand him the microphone so he could give the benediction.
Jesus.
You know what? You know what? What are we doing?
Songwriter penned the song, faith. Mother was sewing.
I didn't even know Bishop Matheny was still alive. God bless him.
Artificial intelligence song looks like because he felt he had no reason.
That's a sad way to end the service.
God
What happened?
You telling a story about suicide. I don't hear that.
just
Y'all got to help me. What? Bitch, come on, Bishop Matheny. He got a head full of black hair.
we have
too.
what to do. Tell someone God made it. Tell someone God made it. Regardless what you're told, what you get.
What did Bishop get up here to do?
Or maybe he's doing an altar call. Maybe it's an altar call.
Rosie,
I don't know why he got
say,
it.
God, favor me. God, the Lord praise. God bless you. God keep you.
Was that a benediction? What kind of benediction? Look, all the people confused. They don't know what's happening. They are not nobody understanding that he just dismissed us. You know what?
I don't even know what he said. You know, what he say?
Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, God favored us. You are dismissed. Sir, give us a dismissal. You know what? That's right, Bishop. It's hot. Bishop Ray say it's hot. They tired. They tired.
They need to demand that the air run all day tomorrow.
What's going on, Bishop? Put some gas in the room. All the bishops, they are all tripping today. I don't know what this was about. What? Okay, Sister Monroe. I'm glad it wasn't just me. No, Bishop Malcolm Kobe. I don't know if he was there tonight or not.
No, he's not there, period. He's recuperating. They mentioned it this morning. He's recuperating at home because he just got out he had surgery and he wanted to come. But Bishop Sheard advised him not to come.
Well, he's not running, so he doesn't have to come. I didn't. How much is her stuff? I've never looked it up to see.
There's too much to think about it. There's too much to even
Is it really?
I looked at it, and she doesn't have that many colors. I mean, I think I saw maybe 4 lipsticks. And then the foundations were different colors.
Well, they put a saints. Y'all don't need that many colors. Saints don't need that many colors.
Okay.
Listen, I'm just telling you. He was going to drive?
Yes.
He's in Oklahoma. He's not that far.
Yeah, the doctor had advised that he don't fly.
Well, Bishop Daniels used to drive all the time because he couldn't fly.
Yeah.
So
but, the doctor advised him not to fly, and then Bishop Sheard advised him to, just recuperate.
He's only like 5-6 hours away?
Slightly. Yeah. Matters on both sides here as they wrap up the vote. I'm curious if university towns.
Well, looks like Harris has gotten is getting Wisconsin.
It's a huge part of Trump.
Oh, she got Wisconsin? Wow.
Looks like she's getting Wisconsin right now. She's leading.
Wow, because Wisconsin is real. Well, like we discussed, it'd probably be purple, but Wisconsin is actually really red.
And we're seeing that in so many different places, David, too. We're just seeing.
I think the northern part of it is red.
Doing better than his 538 benchmark. Sometimes it's not as dramatic as this case. You look at the final votes here.
I agree. If Bishop Colby was healthy enough, then somebody should have drove him. But you know,
See, if
like
they're
I
having
said,
problems with the hotels, no, be aggravated like that. I don't think that's wise. Maybe he can come on official day, but to be there for the whole week, maybe not.
In some of these counties, they're not that big, but they've got most of the vote in already, and you're seeing Donald Trump tick up a little bit from his margins last time around, and that adds up over time, even if these are big places.
No question. Let's look at Allegheny County.
Yeah. Almost exactly, but again, it's just not right now enough to.
So what are
so
the
Gail,
polls?
you were getting ready to give us a review as I go to the polls. Thank you. For last night's musical. Okay. Does not look like anything's changed. Actually, it looks like it's getting worse. Bishop Rudolph is up to 75%. Dickinson Wells is 19%. Bishop Joel Lyles is coming up with 6%. Okay, we just do not know who Elder Stevenson is. Is that the problem? We just don't know who he is. Because I feel like that's the problem.
Well, as I said in the other polls, eeny, meeny, miny, no.
Yeah, it did. Man, that name recognition is a problem. I'm what you did. I listen. I cannot deal with Donald Trump being the president. I don't care what y'all say. Here's the thing, though, Gil. My problem with Donald Trump is not Donald Trump. It's all the people that surround Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just crazy, but he's got some serious people around him who are serious white supremacists, and they really want to go back. And that's more dangerous than he is. That's my concern. I don't really care nothing about. People got to look at that kind of stuff. You got to look at the team he's going to put around. Then you got to look at putting people in the Senate and the House. These people are dead serious. They're not Republicans. They will tell you they are not Republicans. They are conservatives who want to go back to when minorities knew their place. These people are dangerous, y'all. They're absolutely dangerous. And so you cannot take him without taking them. And he, you go back and look at the history of World War II. You go back and look at Hitler. Hitler did the same thing. They used him to take over a party. And then the Nazi party took over Germany, and then the rest of it is history. They were willing to assassinate Hitler. They tried to kill him multiple times because he was not bigger than their cause, and their cause was to exterminate anything that was not white Aryan. So you got to be careful with those kind of people. And he's willing to jump in bed and play with them type of people. We have not had a president who's willing to play with that in a long time. So the young say the youngest ain't gonna go for that. Old days ways. You know what? They got more guns than we do. Can we just be honest? See, we got a gun. They stack it up. Them people stack it up. We got a gun. We got handguns, and we using most of those on each other. They walking around with AR-15s and AK-47s. They've been stacking up for this since the end of slavery. They've been doing that. Don't forget, prisons and police were created as a way to go and get runaway slaves. They've been ready. We trying to get ready. You're right. So, it's easy to talk about what we would not do, but think about it. Who thought in the 40s that they would do that? Okay, we got Elder Damon Stevenson in the building. Good to see you tonight, sir. Were there any other candidates for general secretary? Yes, sir. You are in there. You are in the room. You are right here. But right now, the biggest question is people are asking, who is Elder Damon Stevenson? And this is a good time. If you want to, you are welcome to come in the room. You can tell people who you are. Because I told them I don't know that I know you, but you are more than welcome as the votes continue on until tomorrow at 6 p.m. But thank you for joining in tonight.
If you would like to call in, you can also call in. The lines are open. Let me post the number.
We can send you the link. You can send them the link. So you can send them a link if you want to. He can show his face so people know who he is. Oh, thank you, sir. I did not know. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, amen. Let's see.
I wish I had known that. I would have certainly interviewed you more than a few times.
You would have been able to let you greet the viewers. Let's see.
You gotta tell us you gotta tell us you're in here, man. We didn't know. I certainly would have. We'll let the people know who you were. I do not, just because y'all may not know, I do not see everyone who comes in. We generally don't. Whatever the number is in the corner is the number of people who are in the chat with us. So if you don't say anything, we don't even know you're in here 9 times out of 10. So when you got, 3,000 people that watch, we don't even know unless you say something, unless you're in this room, because there are chats that happen in YouTube and other places. We don't get a chance to see everything. Where you from? Where you from, Elder Stevenson? Tell us where you're from.
Elder Stevenson, you can send a text message to that number 239-719-1115, and I'll be glad to send you the link where you can come on and introduce yourself to the viewers. That number,
if you choose to.
239-719-1115. So, Elder Stevenson, if you can send a text message to that number, I'll be glad to send you the link so you can be on the panel tonight.
Or at least introduce yourself to people. They'll probably, between now and tomorrow, there'll probably be a couple thousand people, most of them are delegates, who will watch this show. So why do they even show us Alabama? We know good and well Kamala Harris not winning Alabama. Anyway, yeah, you were telling us about you were getting ready to tell us about it. So let me do it like that. Is that better?
Elder Stevenson, you can also call that number if you prefer to call the number 239-719-1115. And while we are waiting,
you're going to tell us about the musical last night, Gail. Tell us about the musical.
The musical.
First of all, was there a great crowd?
It didn't look like it was attended well.
Okay.
From the camera shots, from what I saw, it didn't look like it was advertised well. There was not a big attendance. It somewhat looked like a bunch of just choirs that were going to be featured on the pre-musical. So I was
So like an old school church musical? Is that what you're saying? Where you invited
well,
like 15 choirs, everybody showed up?
um,
I don't know. I didn't watch it. So
as I watched it, um, I was surprised that it wasn't more artists there, or choirs, or people to um, I don't want to say perform, but actually be featured on during the musical. You can also watch it online if you choose to, but the attendance looked very poor. It was held at Greater Community Church. Um,
Credit Community
where
Temple, is that who you're
Yes,
talking about?
yes, Greater
Okay.
Community Temple, where General Board Member Bishop Brandon Porter is the pastor there. So it was. I don't think. I don't think I didn't even see it advertised on social media that it would be convened. So, and that might have been the reason why there was not a lot in attendance. Um, a lot of a lot of good singing, um, but I didn't feel um, the spiritual side of it. They were just singing, no substance of anointing. One person got up, and I enjoyed her gift. I enjoyed her song, and I think she's a member of Bishop G.E. Patterson's church. Um,
Mhm.
and she did sing this morning in the morning session service today. I believe her name is Carla uh, Tolbert Taylor. I think that's her
Mhm.
name. I might have gotten her middle the maiden name wrong, but her name is Sister Carla. Um, oh, very. Oh, wow. She had oil on her voice. Um, I could feel um, I could feel her spirit. I could feel how she used her gift to um, uh, enlighten the those that were in attendance. She was very good. I think she sang for the good of them.
Okay.
I
Yeah, while you're
think.
doing it, I want to do this because I like to have the spirit of fairness. Most of you all who know who Dickerson Wells is, you know who Bishop is, you know who Bishop Lyles is. Here is Pastor Damon Stevenson.
My name is Pastor Damon Stevenson, and I'm running to be your next General Secretary of the Church of God in Christ. I want to start by asking the question, how may I serve you? I ask that question because I found out at this current time we're tired, we're frustrated, and we're trying to figure out how to take the church to another level with the current system that we're dealing with. And this is not the answer for the next 21st century concepts that we must deal with. The Church of God in Christ is a standard of excellence, and we must reflect that in even the office of the General Secretary. How does that standard of excellence work? It must take into consideration customer service for the people of God across the very world. We must be about dealing with the international relations of our church, speaking to the languages and the concept of the different areas that we go into. We must be about taking and having a sensitivity to the women's department of the Church of God in Christ, even to the point of making an assistant general secretary for that office. We must be about not having you wait and been found waiting for a certificate that has your proper name, not have you be found waiting to have the ARC system work so that you can get on to do the simple art of being able to vote. Have you not waiting to have your blue and gold card, whether it is digital or whether it's physical, come to you in a timely manner so that you can have your designated representation that you are a member of the Church of God in Christ. I know that we are tired. We have been found waiting, but how may I serve you? How may I serve you so that the system systems are cutting edge, that they respond to the present needs of our church, that we're working with our presiding bishop, with our financial secretary, and all the other agencies of the Church of God in Christ to take us to a whole nother level. How may I serve you? It's about transparency. We have nothing to hide. It's about integrity. Tell the truth, mean the truth, and proceed forward with what the truth is for the Church of God in Christ. It's about accountability, being able to say what we mean and do the systems as they're supposed to be. We are a church of excellence. Let's be about serving you for our customer service. Let's be able to serve you with an office that's open on a regular basis so that you can see and have what you need from the church on a regular. Let's be about being a resource for the new church, for the new pastor, for the new elder that needs those particular areas covered by the national offices of the Church of God in Christ. I am here to serve. I want to serve as your next general secretary, and I make a promise to you that you won't have to wait 16 years. You won't have to wait another day. We're going to come into the office ready to serve and ready to build out a standard of excellence that everybody will be able to be in awe of. My name is Damon Stevenson, the pastor of the Citadel Ministries Church of God in Christ, and I'm asking for your vote for General Secretary of the Church of God in Christ. May God bless you.
Okay, Gail, I have not voted, but I think I may have just found my next general secretary. Talked about all the right things, said all of the right things, addressed the need for a real functioning ARC system, which tells me he knows it's a problem. Accountability. We have not had a functioning general secretary's office since 2008, when all the staff was fired in Memphis and moved to California, and it became what it is today. And he don't look like he's scared. You're right. He don't look like he's scared of nothing. I like that. And he said what he needed to say. You know, I like people who say what they need to say. Stop pretending like it's not. What you're running for if it's not a problem. And the fact that he expressed the problem is something to me. So let's look. Pastor Damon Stevenson loves God, his word, and the people of God, possessing over 3 decades of business ministry experience. His mission is to ensure, equip, and empower presenting emerging leaders worldwide to see greatness and affect excitement and power to the world. Pastor Stevenson is the founder. That's tough to do. He has founded his church, Citadel Ministries Church of God in Christ, in Omaha. Found a church, a Black church, and in Nebraska. That's a lot. His motto is "Together We Rise." He's 4th generation member of the Church of God in Christ, raised at the historic Robinson Memorial Church of God in Christ, founded by Elder Edward Robinson and General Supervisor Lizzie Woods Robinson. Y'all remember Mother Robinson, first General Supervisor of the Women Church of God in Christ. He has worked tirelessly at the local, jurisdictional, national levels with a strong desire for impact and influence. Pastor Stevenson is a minister, a consultant, an administrator, instructor, inspirational speaker, CEO, and champion to countless individuals, encouraging them to fulfill their destiny. He's traveled extensively throughout the country, coordinating major functions, preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. His professional insight is advising current and emerging businesses, programs, and ministries on best practices for maximizing services, quality customer service, and integration of cutting-edge ideas in their systems, generating millions in revenue. Okay, so his experience most assuredly is in HR, customer service, things of that nature. Professional model: conceive, believe, and achieve success. He possesses a communicable spirit of love and fellowship. He believes the church has grown into an interrelational family of faith, empowered to change the world for the propagation of the kingdom of God, and an administrative focused approach, stimulating church infrastructure to accomplish the task in an efficacious manner. Pastor Stevenson is certified in multiple disciplines, for organizational development, matriculating at the university level in business management and organizational effectiveness, provides him with an insight he brings to his daily philosophy of getting things done. He invests in his community and believes in giving his best to the building of all. That is Pastor Damon Stevenson. So all of you who keep asking, who is he? That's who he is. And now joining us is the man himself. I promise you, the pastor himself is in the building. Pastor Damon Stevenson, who is running for General Secretary of the Church of God in Christ. Good evening, sir. Thank you for popping in on us this late hour on a Tuesday evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much. Listen, I heard what your commercial had to say. I'm impressed by that. I am often asking the question, why are people running if there's not a problem? Because if there's not a problem, you just keep what's already there. Exactly. And you've identified 3 or 4. But why don't you speak to that and into how you can improve the church, having recognized and identified those issues?
Well, number one, thank you all for allowing me to come on. I do sneak on every once in a while, but I'm one of those that I don't say nothing. I just watch to see what y'all got to say and how long y'all gonna say it, because y'all can go for hours.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Y'all can go for hours. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna come in and go back out, but I'll be back eventually. Thank you so much.
I love it. Yes, sir.
Platform. I just have to pop on and saw that you had the ratings for us, and I don't think those are accurate. I think that's bad polling, because I think I got some polling. And I was like, I'm not even on the screen, you know. And I kind of know all the candidates, but I think it's about right. But I think I'm a contender, even though you ain't got me on the list at all. So
you are on the list. I promise you, you are most assuredly on the list. You couldn't see it on the screen because I wasn't moving it.
But it said 0% when you scroll down to me. I rebuke that spirit.
No, rebuke the spirit right there.
Because you'll see me in the chair in how many days I got left? I got 6 days to go.
6 days to go.
It come to reality. Very, very simple. I'm a member of the Church of God in Christ. I have served in every capacity in the background. I realize that one of the things that we do is we make the mistake of thinking that just because you see them, that they're the most effective. And I don't believe that to be true. A lot of times, your best people are the people that have been doing the work behind the scenes. I'm a member of the convocation committee, and we just finished the new manual, which I have a copy of right here.
Oh my God.
Of the team that put this book together, that took over 50 years to complete an update, and I'm a member of the team that got it done. I serve on the. So
you're working with Bishop Brown.
There's actually 2 committees. It's called the Manual Review Committee and the Codification Committee. I was the director of policies and procedures for the Codification Committee. What's supposed to happen with the Manual Review Group was supposed to bring together a formative analysis of the concepts that needed to be brought to bear and updated in the book. And the Codification Group was supposed to put it in order and make it flow. Our group made sure that it flew as we have it today, so that the first volume is done, and we're actually working on the second volume as we speak. But I do work very closely with Bishop Brown. He's one of my mentors for many, many years. I also serve on the election commission of the Church of God in Christ. Right now, I can't serve because I'm on the ballot, and and I'm also the director of the COGIC delegate support system, which is, if you're in the room when we're actually running General Assembly, I'm the coordinator, the person running around making sure that everybody is taken care of on the floor. So I am in charge of that, along with working with the team that's online and the team that is dealing with those that are calling in to get into customer support. That has been part of my mainstay for the last, since just before COVID. We created that new system, and they gave me the honor of being one of the major coordinators in that system. as well as a member of the executive committee. And I've served down through the years. You can see my accolades and my work in my bio. I don't take a lot of time wasting it on telling you what I've done, because it's more important what you need in this season. And we've been taking a lot of time telling how may I return on the investment, and your experience matters. And I live in the city of Memphis, and those items are nice, but we need an updated version of who we are. And
Right.
I don't have time for that. I mean, if my work doesn't speak for me, then I'm no good. I realize that it is a popularity contest, but I really believe that if you get to the grassroots of what we need in this season, we can make something formatively change that will be for the better of the church. I worked in the General Secretary's office many, many years ago, and I have nothing personally against Bishop Lyles. I have a very, very clear professional and fundamental argument about that he has not done the job to the level that it needs to be done anymore. And it is time for a dramatic change.
Yes.
So if I were to submit to you my conversation, you said 4 points, but actually I have a document that I have put out, and then I have it out all over the place now. It's called the Master Plan. This is a 9-point approach to what I will do as the secretary, and I'm not going to wait months. I'm going to institute the plan within days of the being given the seat, to bring about a formative change to how we approach how the secretary's office functions and how it serves. I'm tired of our people waiting. I've traveled around the country, and I still have people that don't have their certificates. I'm tired of people waiting. It's literally people that are saying they don't have their blue and gold cards, and then he want to say we got these new digital cards. But the problem is that why can't we have both? I mean, come on. We're in the century and the time. And then they told us in the last forum I was with him on, y'all just don't know the cost of sending out the cards. I said, when you have bishops that pay $1,000 to report, and you have an administrative assistant and supervisor that pay $750. My personal report is $400. And then the women's department for district missionaries is $150, and elders is $150. And you're telling me that you can't spend $2 to $3 to get me a certificate? Now, my cost analysis is this. I look at the problem and then look at functionality of what we can do next. We do not galvanize on the greatness of who we are. So if you got a problem with sending out that card, Mr. General Secretary, make it worth something. Make it mean something, so that when we present it and when we send it out, it's worth something. It should be a discount in multiple places. It should be a functioning piece where it's the only thing that has changed from year to year for me personally, besides me changing from minister to elder, elder to pastor, which doesn't really mean anything, is that the date on the certificate changed. That's it. The only thing that changed. You telling me you can't send that out, and then you send it out late, and then you make excuses for the fact that everybody isn't getting it? Then change the system. Or make it simple.
Here was my question. Why wouldn't you create an RFID card? Why wouldn't you create a card that had a chip in there? You have the digital and the physical at the same time. It shouldn't be that hard to do.
Because we're using excuses that we don't have budget, and we're using excuses that if it ain't broke, fix it, don't fix it. And that we've been doing it this way for a long enough time, and we have polarized and weaponized the office of the General Secretary, where it's not functioning as a service component of who we are. It is supposed to be the chief information area of the church. It's not the presiding bishop. It's not the General Assembly. Everything is supposed to come through the office of the General Secretary, and we're making it hard to even get them to answer the phone. Do you realize that we have a call center right now in the publishing house, that they're regularly not answering phone calls because there's not enough volume for them? When you're telling me that we have a call center within the systems of our church, where we can literally utilize systems that's already there to move the system forward for the office of the General Secretary to just make sure that somebody answers the phone. Not only that, there's certain concepts that are not so banked or so vaulted that you can't let them help a person change their email address on their ARC system. You can't let them change their phone number on their ARC system because you're trying to make it ultra secret, or you're trying to make it so that somebody that is doing a working job has to now stop their job to do something that should be a built-in matrix for the national church's offices that deals with millions of dollars and thousands, tens of thousands of individuals, and we make excuses.
I can tell you for myself, Pastor. I went into my ARC system. I was on the phone with Sister Gail, and I said, I just want to check this because someone had told me something about the ARC system. So I said, well, let me go in and check. I hadn't seen mine in a while, probably since 2023. And so I went in. When I went in the system, my jurisdiction was changed. My title was changed. My password was changed. I had to go in and create a new password just to get into my own account. And I'm saying, now, wait a minute. How safe can this system be if I have never changed jurisdictions ever? Since I've been a pastor, I've never changed jurisdictions ever. I'm in the same jurisdiction right now today as what my certificate on my church says from 2013. But yet and still, I'm in a different jurisdiction in the ARC system. I'm in there as an elder, not a pastor. They've had me in 4 different jurisdictions and I've never changed one time. And I said, and that's why I'm glad you're here, because to me, I don't care who's running for general secretary, if they don't understand that there's a problem, and I love it when I heard you say that about the ARC system, there's a problem with this thing, and somebody needs to be running it that's going to really look and see, does this even work for us? I don't mind a system, but I need a system that works. This is not good. And you said the secrecy of it. How do you deal with that? What do you perceive is your move there?
Well, I'm a logistical and administrative by craft and gift. And I'm a person that comes in to fix problems. But I asked the fundamental question first, is it broke? Or is it, let me say it, is it a user problem or is it a hardware problem? In our particular status, I have had conversations with individuals that are tech people, and I've also had a research on the system that we're using. And our issue is not that it's a tech problem, it is a fundamental user problem. We have thrown in and put a part-time system into a full-time corporation. We're an organization that needs to have somebody that's utilizing the system full time, but also put in safeguards and reviews and inspections and compliances to make sure that the system is working like it should, even to the degree that we do not give our jurisdictional secretary, proper training, nor give them the proper tools for them to utilize it, because we're not respecting the bulk of them. By some of them don't even get paid, or they've never properly been trained on how to utilize the system. So how can I fully, and then they're going to say, oh, we have trainees all the time. No, number one is that we need to make sure that we certify them. We need to make sure that we do too much talking and not enough actual practical. So we need to create fundamental systems where it's not that the general secretary needs to monitor everybody. We need to regionalize this component. So give a regional that has been properly trained the ability to make sure that everything in your jurisdiction is right. And that we're making sure that it's not just about getting the money, but making sure that the service to you is what it needs to be. So when
I think you have to give it back to, as a former jurisdictional secretary myself.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember when we put the system in. You have to give it, you got to give it. What they did though, is they took it away from the jurisdictional secretaries. The ARC system was taken away and everything was centralized under Bishop Lyles. And so that's where you have this manager who is the creator of the software in the first place, you're managing everything from one place. Correct. And so because he is managing it from one place in California, Now the things that are falling through the cracks in the jurisdiction now have created all of these cracks throughout the entire system. And what you're saying is, let me put the system right first, get the right people, get it back in place, and then do it the way it should be done. I don't know why we didn't license this software and then do it a different way, but for some strange reason, we doing something weird. So I love the fact that first of all, you identify that, because most people won't tell that truth. And that is that there's a problem. And like you said, the first key is there's a problem. You got to identify that. Exactly. And so I love that. And so now, how will you fix the financial piece that we know has, if I believe Bishop Maynard, has become a problem in all of this? I don't even understand how they got in the General Secretary's office in the first place, but there is clearly a breakdown between Financial Secretary and General Secretary that's all, again, culminated within the system that we're using called ARC. How do we fix that? How do you fix that as a General Secretary? Your
mistake is that you're thinking that the Financial Secretary created the problem.
No, I don't.
What I'm saying is that fundamentally is that I shouldn't touch no money.
There you go. Okay. All right. Wanted to see if we was on the same page.
The Financial
didn't make sense.
Office is that I create the systems, but I shouldn't have a bank account in my name.
That's right.
I create the systems, but if a check comes, the check needs to go. If it does, it should immediately be a pass through, and there should be a checks and balances that once money has been passed, if it even have to even come near me, it needs to leave immediately. So if you ask for a certificate, that certificate money should go into a system. I should see that it's paid, and then I'm supposed to send you the certificate. I should never touch the money. I should be able to done.
Let me ask you this. Why isn't the system like, is that a fix that you will make in the system to separate that back out? I don't know why that is not separate.
It has to be. It has to be, because the numbers, I believe that we should say apples for apples. I need to see where the money is. That's why I said accountability, integrity, and transparency are my standards. I want to know where the money is. I want it to be where it belongs, but I need the Financial Secretary, number one, to let me see it. The National Church give me my budget so that I can pay my people and make sure that the systems are running correctly. And then I should be able to give a report that every dime is completely connected to every certificate and every ARC account, and every single component is functioning in such a way, even to the degree that when they have to pay for stuff when they come into the office of the General Secretary, that money needs to leave my office during the convocation. If they need a new badge or whatever, it needs to leave my office and go to the Financial Secretary's office immediately. It shouldn't even stay in my office, and we should be able to have an accountability for what it is. We have
reconciling is what you say. Reconcile the system.
Yeah. Right. And so it needs to be gone. The problem is that that's not how it's been functioning. Is that I know things that I have learned over the course of me traveling over the last 6 months that are disturbing to me, that are literally blowing me away, of things that I can't believe that we're doing and we have allowed and still allow to this day that should not be part of the system. The numbers don't add up. If I register, just mathematically in my head, 5,000 people for the General Assembly at 2250, those numbers mean that I should have over $100,000 in the account for the line item of just the registrations. The numbers don't add up. If I average over 1,000 new elders a year, and then I average 2,500 new missionaries a year, there should be literally thousands of new funds coming into our church on a regular basis that should offset the actuarial analysis of death in our church.
That's right.
Why the numbers aren't adding up? And then when we give reports, we give these blanket reports where the General Secretary's office says X, but what was connected to that X? And if the X ain't up to a certain number, I want to know why. So I'm having the questions, and
And
I'm submitting the
Because
names.
how do we actually audit where the church is without knowing these things that you're saying? And that's what I hear you say. How do we really know where we
How do
are?
we really know? And you realize that our general chairman is pushing for more accountability. He's
Mm-hmm.
pushing the trustee board to say, y'all need to give us an audit. He's pushing the
Mm-hmm.
general trustee board to say, y'all need to make sure that y'all are literally knowing what is happening in all of the several offices. And we are the largest office in the church.
Right.
Everything comes through the office of the general secretary. So why aren't we doing the work? And it hurts my feelings to think that I'm part of a great organization that can shout you under the floor, that has an institution that others mimic in multiple different ways. And then when we come down to doing the brass tacks of the business of being accountable to our people, we are found lacking. And we are found to
Wow.
have a negative grade in something that's easy to fix if you put the right people in the right places and do it the right way. I'm here to fight for how I can serve the church to make it better without taking away from what we already are. I'm here to work with the presiding bishop, work with the financial secretary, work with the general assembly. Why do we have a separate secretary that's a liaison to the general assembly when I'm the secretary of the general assembly? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. So
I
you
don't
have
even know when that was created. Yeah, I don't even know how that was created because that never used to be, which is an odd.
because
It's an
the
odd thing.
current secretary stopped doing the work and creating a little fiefdom within us where in order to get what you want out of us, you put an extra pay the toll tax to get what you
Mm-hmm.
want out of our church when it should be about us serving the people at all times. And
Right.
he became institutional in forgetting you are supposed to serve. It's not about a look, it's about an action. No, I
Mm.
shouldn't hear about nobody not having their certificates. I shouldn't hear about art being mistaken year after year after year, and that people are not getting their cards. And you had 2 years where you did not have to be engaged with us personally, and you did not create the systems in a 21st century time. When I wanted to be honest with you, I look at data every day from the
Mm.
point of taxes or from the point of enrollments, from the point of how to execute a certain level of logistics. It's just data. And so when we're making it hard for like you to get online when I could go to the hospital, and I literally have been going to the same hospital since I was born, and they asked me the same two questions to get my information. They asked me my
Right.
name and my
Mm.
birthday.
Right.
Outside of that, I could get everything about how long and what I've ever had done at my hospital. But the church has 1,500 merges for one jurisdiction because you've allowed things to change without creating systems where we fold it over, archive it, and move forward in a 21st century world when you are in the same jurisdiction, or you can change jurisdictions, but your name didn't change, your birthday didn't change. So why in
And,
the world are we holding up the process of getting you done, even if we have 100 Johnsons or
and
1,000 Kevin
but the truth
Johnsons?
but the truth of the matter is it shouldn't be incumbent upon you as the general secretary's office to change what's happening in my arc in the first place. It shouldn't even be accessible because it doesn't have really anything to do except for the record keeping of it.
Well,
So
but that's what
I'm
it
trying to
is.
figure out why yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out though, why would someone in the office be changing something that the
Because,
person whose account it is doesn't even know is being changed? You understand what I'm saying?
because
It's something missing here.
no, it's very, very simple. It's because we did not create systems that do not change with administration. I'm a owner. I'm a director. I'm a leader. I've been
Wow.
managing things for a long time. And when I
Mhm.
teach leaders today, I tell them, number one, my very first job was working at McDonald's. Well, not my second job after I got out of college was working at McDonald's. The manager said to me this. He said, first thing you're going to do is for the first month of your learning, you're going to learn every part of this system. He said, learn everything so that if somebody leaves you in the middle of a shift, you know how everything works. And the system doesn't change with personalities. The system has to remain consistent no matter who's in that chair. What we've done is that we've afforded the ability where the general secretary does not have a handbook that is solidified whether or not it's you or me in the office. So you allow the person to change it to their personality instead of making a foundational system that doesn't change whoever has it. You still get the same keyboard that they used where there was typewriters, but we now use a system where I could do it on my phone, but the keyboard is still the same. The foundation of who we are should not have changed, but we allow it to change with the feeling of the person that's in the chair. And it's not the general secretary, it's the team that he puts underneath him. And then when we make the change, we don't create a handbook for it. So now we have a state of confusion because we have not created a system that outlives the individual. It can't be
there's no protocol. There's no protocol system put in place. So therefore, it just changes with administration.
It changes with individuals because the administrator has remained the same.
Whoever.
Right. But he puts in contact because he's mad at you, or he gets tired, or they say they don't want to they're not getting paid, or they don't live in Memphis, or they have died, and you're trying to figure out how to adjust. Well, did you build a system? And so if the system is right, we ain't got to change nothing. And that
because you're just plugging in personnel.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your name did not change. The person in the office did. Your birth date did not change. The person in the office did. So why are we having confusion? I don't understand confusion when the fundamentals of who we are didn't change. Our presiding bishop has been in the role for literally over 45 years. He's been an elder, which means he's been part of the records for more than 45 years. The only thing that changed for him was not his name, not his birthday, but his title. According to what we need and how much he pays for the financial secretary's office.
And then you just upgrade the card based on the title change versus because I never understood that. That has always been weird to me.
I mean,
makes
does that make sense to you?
No.
And then if we do it right, we close out the books every year. So you say at the beginning of every new quadrennium, or not quadrennium, actually every General Assembly session, you open up the session with a discussion about that every General Secretary starts from zero. Which means that we make them reactivate every single person in their jurisdiction.
There you go.
And so that those that have died, you don't reactivate them. So now we got a clean slate, but we haven't killed what we had before. We just don't move them forward into the next year. Now, once
I don't get a new debit card every year.
No,
I don't get a new debit card every year.
So
if it fades out, I may get a new one, but I don't get a new one every year.
But if I could get a Cash App card or an American Express card in 2 to 3 days for over 50 million people that have one, and you telling me that I can't do it for 50,000? And it could be that I could get a contract with somebody. I used to work for a company that we had to give them ID cards. And we had hundreds of individuals. All I had to do was send it to the printer, it printed, and then you could put it in the mail.
Yes. I was even saying that because when you utilize that card correctly, even creating a laity card, because I was saying, even when I was preparing to run for chairman, that was one of the things. One of the reasons we don't get laity reports is because there's no benefit to be
benefits. But
you don't have a benefit to it.
But not only, there's not just the benefit of the card, there's no benefit to the church. And so we got to change the way. Now, I ain't going to tell you all my secrets with that. I got to say
Don't do it all. Don't do it all. Keep flowing.
I'm going to send that to the presiding bishop first. And because there's a concept that I have that I believe that we could do a better job of getting laity report if we change the way that we function in it, and then let them see that it can come back to them in manifold ways. The problem is that we have too many personalities in the middle of the conversations when we don't bring everybody to the table to say, how can we fix this for the good
There
of
you
the
go.
church overall? And
There
I
you
want to
go.
be part of that conversation. And if I got to say it, I'm willing to come to the conversations and say it. And I'm not
Right.
scared. I mean, I understand that I can't win every fight and everybody ain't going to
Yeah.
agree. But if we set the right seeds and let them germinate, we can do some greatly demonstrative things for our church. So I put together a plan, and I have 9
You got a
points.
website? You got a website? You got a website?
Yes, I do. In fact, they're updating it as we speak. They'll be updated tomorrow, but it's DamonStevenson.com. And it's
Okay.
DamonStevenson.com and DamonStevenson.org. So they're literally updating it as we speak. And the only thing on the site as of tomorrow is the master plan and a couple of videos in anticipation of what we're going to do this week, because we had to tweak some things. But I have 9 points that I'm going to work on literally within the first month. You're going to see some changes that are going to be absolutely blowing your mind.
Share the 9 points with us. Share the 9 points with us.
The 9 points are very, very simple. First of all, is that we're going to create the General Secretary Handbook. It's called the First Class Towel Service Handbook. You know, one of the things that you get when you get into first class is that they give you a towel to clean off your hands.
Right.
And you get that because they're letting you know that you're not just anybody. If you go to very nice restaurants and you are eating, they give you a warm towel to clean your hands in between certain levels of meals. I want us to make sure that we're treating every single level of who we are at that particular dynamic. So it's called the 316 Initiative: Exceed Expectations and Make Excellence the Standard. So we're going to have an Episcopal Leaders Toolkit. We're going to have a Jurisdictional Secretary Development and Wellness Program. Secretaries get burned out, and we got to give them help and make their job easier. We're going to do the General Delegate High Expectation Plan. If you have a complaint or concern, those are fast tracked to me, but we build in customer service so that we have the right systems, and we have leadership relations. So we're always having discussions on a regular basis about where we're at and how do we move forward. The next one is that we're going to create the COGIC Digital Resource Center, which means that I'm going to change the way our website looks to make it look like a Secretary of State's office, where everything you need, it's especially your certificates, your documentation, but also your archival history is right at your fingertips, but also the templates for how to incorporate, how to get a 501c3, the resources in your community, in your area, so that there's scholarship programs. Are you willing to make the investments to take you to another level, even to the degree of how to write your bylaws? We need to have that on the Secretary's office, because we oftentimes are asking for stuff where a lot of our churches aren't prepared. And we're paying thousands of dollars to individuals to do the fundamentals. It don't take nothing to create a corporation, but it takes a lot to keep it maintenance. And so let's give them the proper tools. Then I want to do the national credentials, the training modules for administrative development. Let's put it all and dump it into one Church of God in Christ administrative site. I want to take over the National Archives. It literally says in the job description, we're in charge of the archives, but we lose the ability to get that information because we don't go to the local church. We should immediately have a picture of the local church, the history of it, so that we can Calvinize and canonize those particular areas. And then we go local, jurisdictional, and national. So we have your bishops. We have the women that have served for hundreds of years and having conversation about what is going on in yours, so that we have a true historical landmark. We got a building that we don't use.
Wow.
I literally was a member of Bishop Daniel's team where he collected. I went to Milwaukee and he had thousands of documents from around the country that he made me the director of it. But when we changed administrations, it died off. But I literally said, if he got it, I'm sure the Daniels family, if they can ensure that the church is doing it right, put it in the right containers. It doesn't need to go in the box. It needs to go in the right type of tools so that it can be kept in our national church. And we keep it digitally as well. We converted in our first thing. We have all of the minutes from the 20s, 30s, and 40s and 50s. We just don't
Wow.
have the 60s because it's gone. I literally have those in my computer right now, and we converted them from the paper versions to a digital so that you could type a part of it and you could pull up one of the documents from the 20s, 30s, and
Wow.
40s according to the words in it.
Wow.
We're the 21st century. We can do a whole lot of stuff. And so we
Yeah.
want to make that important. We want to create the quality COGIC customer service center. I want a 24/7 customer service center that decentralizes systems and requests, give this customer service center certain areas of access that they can fix right while you're on the phone. And if they can't fix it, we send it to, sometimes it might need to go back to your jurisdictional secretary. Sometimes it might need to go to one of my assistant general secretaries, but we get it done immediately so that we have the systems in place that we need. The biggest thing I want to do is I want to create the Assistant General Secretary of Women's Ministries. I think that we have a problem because we don't have a fundamental understanding that their particular functions and needs are just as important as the clergy. We have
Right.
thousands of women that are running around the country, and we need to make sure. So I want to work with the general supervisor. And actually, I would think it would be best to make her executive secretary the assistant, so that when the jurisdiction women need something, they don't think that they have been thrown into the same bunch, where we should treat them at the level where they have somebody that understands their needs and are having a real conversation with me in real time. Then I want to create the jurisdictional 5-star general secretary 5-star service training. I want to make you being a jurisdictional secretary a program project manager certification, so that what you do in the church, you will be certified to know that you're a manager in the marketplace. So that when you are trained, you're not just leaving us, but what you brought in, you can take out, and what you take out,
Right.
you can bring in, so that we are literally lining apples to apples about this isn't about speaking in tongues. The jurisdictional secretary's office isn't about shando, and it's not about
Nope.
it's about
No.
paper. And it's
That's
about
right.
records. It's about systems to make sure that the answers that the national church needs are immediately given from that jurisdictional secretary, and vice versa. Do you realize that the second phone call when a bishop dies is to the jurisdictional secretary? The
That's right.
first is to the adjutant. The second
Yep.
is to the jurisdictional secretary. One is
That's
supposed
right.
to handle the body. The other one is supposed to handle the business. Am I saying it wrong?
Nope, you're saying it correct.
So I want to do an empowerment retreat. So I want to go in every year, and I don't want us to always be about business. I want you to be able to put on your shorts and not be able to have nobody talking to you about it. I got on a polo right now. We're going to have a summit where it is no ties, and it is no chains, and it is no jackets coming. Your polo,
Right.
I will make sure the polo has the symbol of the office that you work, and we're going to go in and we're going to lock the door, and we're going to fix systems, train, and equip so that we come out stronger and more familial with each other, so that we can do this systems in the proper way that it needs to be. I'm almost done. I got 3 more. The next one is technology. We need to talk about ARC. ARC is a necessary tool, but it needs to be expanded. It needs to be retooled, and it needs to be trained correctly. So we need to have somebody to say, what does the ARC system actually offer us that we do not use? How do we make sure that we create systems that are protocols that create a system where it doesn't matter who's in it, they know exactly what to do? Thirdly, of course, is that we need webinars for our seasoned saints or our less learned individuals, so that they know exactly how to navigate the system. I believe that we should turn it into an app, and that we should create systems so that we should utilize what we already got in the national church, in the national websites, but also taking the tool and making it so that, again, building out like a Secretary of State. So you have all of your history, you know, all of your systems, you know, all of your trainings, and tell us when something expires. We shouldn't be waiting for us to do the sexual abuse and the background checks. Let us know in a real time, and it should be right there. Our secretary shouldn't have to tell us that. We should be able to go on ARC and say, oh, it's time for us to renew. How about we do something as simple as renewal date is due this date, for you to see it, not for the secretary to tell you. It should be right there. Simple things.
Now let me pause right there. Because here's my question to you. As General Secretary, are you open to, if the current ARC system, the software that we currently use, isn't capable are you open to opening that up to a legitimate bid process by which we might find a software company that would produce something that would do what we need to do?
You know what this is? You know what this
I
is?
do. Yes, sir.
You know what this is? Look,
Yes.
you might go out after I'm done, but here it is. We burn. I don't believe in keeping anything that doesn't work for where we're going. I have a philosophy even with my computer. I get a new computer every 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I get a new computer because the old does not answer to our current status. We're big, we're growing, we're expanding. We have different needs than we had back when Bishop Mason was alive. We have different needs than even when GE was alive. God bless Bishop Patterson. Because we are changing, sometimes if they can't answer to where we're going, we got to let them go and move forward. It's not, and I would have a conversation with our current administrator saying, is this working for our current needs? And do you have enough team for you to understand I can't have you be a one-man show when I need you to respond to 45,000 people. I need you to have, and if I have to increase the budget, I'm going to the national church and saying, this is the budget I need for us to function. And being honest with them saying, you want us to be top notch? And if they have the nerve, and they could say it's not in the budget, you have to figure out how to create a budget. Guess what? A good leader figures it out. And so if you tell me I got to come up with a budget, guess what? I'm going to come up with a budget. If I have to create new revenue streams with something as simple as saying on the back of your blue and gold card, you have Church Mutual as a sponsor. You know what? If they can write us a check for $500,000, come on now, and say that's. But I'm telling the National Church Presiding Bishop, when I raise it, we get to spend it in my department. Now I don't get checks, but I get to utilize it within my budget to take us to another level. Let's have the right conversations. I'll burn the whole thing down if it's not working to make sure that I take care of the people of God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's one of those, and you talked about it. I'm gonna let you finish your last 2 points. But you talked about it. One of the things that I was advocating for and was pushing for in it doesn't matter whether I'm chairman or somebody else or Bishop Thusin's chairman. The reality is in laity. I remember when Bishop Bass first became Urban Initiatives, and I was working with him in that area through our jurisdiction, and that's when I first met him. But one of his things was he formulated a partnership with Home Depot and several other places where we get 20% off. Most people don't know that. Just being a member gives you that, but we don't know that because you don't have any access to it. And so my point was,
and nobody tells you.
When I looked at the concept of a laity card, I looked at it like a AAA card.
Exactly.
And for my $20 a year, if you had 500,000 members that would pay their laity report directly into the system, not into their jurisdiction, but directly into the system for the benefit of being a member of the Church of God in Christ, and they actually had benefits and discounts, hotels, and this and that and the third, they would treat it like a AAA card, and that would generate $10 million a year in revenue before you even got started. That's just 500,000 members.
Exactly.
That's 10 million per 500,000 members. Now, I don't know if we have 6 million members, but what I do know is if we got 6 million, okay, you see what I'm saying? The reality of it is,
yes,
I can find you 500,000 members. So 500,000, that's 10 million in revenue by itself before you even get on a budget of, what is our budget? $10-12 million a year. So
you're going to add another 10 million just by doing that particular component.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm in agreement with you, and that's why I say let them know.
That's why I say though what the General Secretary's office could be doing with those cards and what it should be doing. If it, like you're saying, if it was cohesive and it was all working together, then it makes sense.
Let's build it out. That works. Let's build out a concept like that, so that when you get your card, I did a research on AAA. I did research on AARP. I'm a member of a National Honor Society. We have a whole site that lets me know how I can get discounts. We are too big for us not to. I still use our discount with Office Depot to this day.
I do
And
too.
a lot
I
of
got
people
Office
don't
Depot
even
card.
know that I'm not paying all of that price for color when they still got a relationship with us. The only problem I'm asking is this: is the missions department still getting the check from when I use it?
Right.
But
Right.
those particular instances are, it makes sense to me. Let them know what we can, or create a section of the website to say, this is the power of your card. And we could go immense different ways. Because I even have an app. I have an app on my phone right now with my honor society that I can look if I want to rent a car. I can look if I want to do this and do that, because it's right there at our fingertips. And it's the price of doing service to your constituency. I absolutely
My American Bar Association card is the same. My membership card, I get discount if I want to go all the way to Mercedes. They go, you will get a discount when you go, because this is a part of your stuff.
Get a discount on that Mercedes.
They're gonna tell you
a hat and a keychain.
Come on, give me my keychain. Give me my keychain and my Nike hat, man. I don't care what y'all think.
I want to go to Nike, and I want people say go to things that we already utilize. Go to things that we gonna go to McDonald's. We're gonna go to Starbucks. Come on, give me something at Starbucks so that we benefit from it in some way, form, or fashion, because they're about business too. If I tell them I can give you 500,000 guaranteed users, oh my God.
Amazon, the list goes on. And when you talk about generating revenue, but again, that's why I keep saying, that's why I created this platform, because people don't realize we have a lot of wisdom, a lot of smart people in this church. We just don't have open conversations because people get offended for whatever reason. But if we all come together, I believe the Bible is correct that there's wisdom in a multitude of counsel. Everybody doesn't have the answers, but when we sit and have conversations, of course, you wouldn't be surprised. I get those kind of calls and I say, Jordan, man, that was a good idea. So-and-so called me and said that. But if you never hear somebody have the open conversation, then you never know who we really have in this church. I'm honored for you to even be here, because I would have never known who you were. I would have never known the intellect and the wisdom and the planning that has gone in. And so because we make these such popularity contests, somebody asked me, said, why did you, somebody from the National Church called me and said, why did you create an election? I said, because people don't know. And so we would never know, because most people aren't exposed. We don't know who people are. We don't know who's running. We don't know why they're running. And so
when you put yourself in positions where the ones that have been in the limelight are literally outshadow you.
Yes.
And we're not on a fair. I'm not on a fair playing field. I'm just not. And it's not. And I'm being honest with you. It's not fair because they'll get an endorsement, or they'll all of my candidates that are running against me are going to be presenting in this meeting. And so, and I get a chair. I register and I'm going to sit and hand out some cards, but they'll never see me on the platform. I'll never get a chance. And it's not because I'm not just as anointed, and it's not that I don't have the same acumen. And I actually have been in the church.
Or even the qualifications, because from where you have worked, you've worked in all the same areas. But I would have never known if I wasn't having this conversation. There are going to be thousands of people who are going to see this who would have never known but for this conversation. And that's the thing I'm trying to eliminate.
That's why it needs to be fair. Because if you let us talk, you'd be shocked how some of these bishops that are not, and they're not even given a turn because we institutionalize. We know who we know. We leave them in place, and then you let other people die out. And that's why I'm scared, because this generation that is me and below, they're leaving because they're not going to get an opportunity. And now they're marginalized because It's not, the next plan I have on my thing, I got from a jurisdictional secretary that's only 29 years old. He said, Pastor Stevenson, there's a habit that we call in and we tell them things. And so we tell up and they never come back down to us. They never have a conversation to us whatsoever. So it's like they don't even want to listen to our voice. They just they hinder us by listening, but they really ain't going to do nothing.
Right, right.
Like they don't even care. Now I'm busy. So I know that when I become general secretary, I know that I can't do everything. But one of the things is that our general secretary walks around a bunch of men around him. I want to just be clear. How many of them are taking notes to make sure that whatever that person said, we get back to them in a reasonable amount of time? So what I don't catch, I have a Jonathan or a Joshua behind me that can make sure that they pick up my slack to make sure that nobody goes lacking from the general secretary office at all.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm talking.
Wow.
I know I'm talking.
No.
Forgive me.
Okay, tell me your last two because I interrupted you, and then I got 6 minutes, and then I'm out of here.
Asking question, then we'll
yeah. I'd love to ask questions. That's that's kind of what I do over here.
The next one is the executive secretary bridge network, where we're going to bring in all department heads where they have a real-time, regular conversation with the general board secretary, the financial secretary, the treasurer, and the general secretary as co-chairman of the group, where we talk to every single office from the secretariat component to have a discussion with the AIM chairman, with the women's department secretary, with the board of trustee board secretary, with the adjutancy, the pastors and general council of pastors and elders, where we're having regular conversations so that we are the servants below the servants to make sure that systems are in place so that we're not in the dark and we're having conversations together. And we're having
coordinating the different department secretaries back into being under the general secretary, how it used to be.
Exactly. Without me saying that I'm general in title, but I'm a secretary with everybody else. So we're co-laborers. You just have a silo that you're in, and I have a centralized system that I'm responsible for. So let's create a network where it's like I'm not no better than you. I pull up my pants the same way that you do. I just happen to have the title this time. And how do I activate it to make everybody work together effectively?
I think that could be very, very strategic in helping, especially in terms of General Assembly, as it relates to coordinating resolutions, getting in, things of that nature from different areas and different departments. That just makes sense to me. So yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, but it's simple. It's just a conversation. It's a Zoom call. It's having a chamber meeting. Let's knock it out, and we gotta be no special. It ain't gotta be nothing special. The general board is looking for this. Is the evangelistic department or the music department or the whatever is saying, I'm trying to get this level of information for things. One of the things that he keeps saying is that I can't give information out. So you're telling me that the General Council of Pastors and Elders cannot get a updated list of every pastor and elder in the national church until they have this formative thing that you make them go through when they're a house in the same company that you are. So why aren't you giving them the email addresses for all of the pastors and elders when they're all a member of the General Council of Pastors and Elders?
That's the nature of our council, right? Unless you're a bishop, you are a member of the General Council of Pastors and Elders.
And every woman is a member of the International Department of Women. Are you telling me you can't give them an email address? Because you're not allowed to release information. Who are you releasing it to? You're releasing it to the people that it belongs to. You're making the job of functioning within us harder just because you can. There is no constitutional mandate that you cannot tell the Department of Women every woman that got their new license this year. That's crazy.
Wow.
Does that make any sense? And I'm just asking.
No, none whatsoever.
So
Yeah.
when they get into a room with me and say, can I get the email addresses for every pastor and elder, and they're the secretary of the general council of pastors and elders, when every one of them belong to it, are you telling me I'm going to say no? Because you're trying to say that's not what the general secretary's office does? I have a job description. Where is my job description? Hold on, let me see if I'm sorry.
You got a DRC over there, right?
Let me find it. It said that we are supposed to be the chief information. We're
That's
supposed to
it.
be the governors of credentials. We're supposed to be the archivists. We're supposed to be all channels of documentation are supposed to come through us, and you holding them back. Lastly,
You would also need to know what the general secretary's office should know all the deeds of every property that is Church of God in Christ. It would eliminate a lot of lawsuits, but
put it in the systems. Make
you put
sure
it in
that, I mean, honestly, if we have more discussions, we can make it so that we can help these jurisdictions and these churches get their 501c3s. Imagine how many churches did not get the proper support when we were in COVID because they didn't have the proper documentation.
Yeah.
When it could have just been, this is from and I ain't got to say it. I can literally say, presiding Bishop Shearer, you can go out to them and say, if you go onto the Church of God in Christ website right now, you can get the tools for how to fill out a proper 501c3 documentation so that you all will have in place what you need, how to do proper bylaws. And then if we want to go to another level, we should make it part of how we shouldn't even accept a church into our organization that don't have it in place to begin with.
Constitutionally, they don't even realize that you're not a member church without a certificate. You're not a member.
And let's make sure
that's the Constitution. It's got to be so. So, you got churches who don't even realize, or people who don't realize you haven't even done it properly because it's not available to you. So I love that. I love that.
But you see how it's simple things. And I'm not trying to take credit. I'm just trying to create systems because I love the church that I'm a fourth generation kid. Yeah. And I don't like that the Catholics got their stuff together and the Church of Latter-day Saints and General Assembly, the Assemblies of God got their stuff together. And we don't have ours together? Oh,
and I talk about it. I talk about it all the time because some of those were created after us.
Exactly.
Many of those we were created to mimic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the church that I came from, and then I give you the last one. I remember I got in trouble when I came back from college, and we had an old deacon, and we had a business meeting, and I was fighting for our mothers to have a bathroom on the first floor, and I said, how much money do we have in the bank? And he looked me in my eye and said, it ain't none of your business, boy. And then he said, I've been doing this since your grandfather was the pastor of this church, and we ain't changing. And I said, but the system that you have ain't working for where we are today. Wow. And I took hits for the fact that I was questioning the system. But guess what? When it was done, we got a bathroom. So we didn't change. The last one is international relations. He had the audacity to say in the last couple of years, he's appointed a general secretary of international relations. Here's my problem. Number one, you've been the secretary for 16 years. Yes. We have been on the international field since 1920. So why are you waiting 100 years later? And you've been in that chair for 16 and you're just appointing an international relations general secretary. And that general secretary does not do what it needs to do to function. We have jurisdictions that are being created on the national field that don't have templates for how to register them in our national church family. Yeah, they can do some of the systems that we need to do, but also not only can they not do the systems, they don't speak the same language that we do. So we need to have a help desk that can speak their language. We need to have a help desk that has a form for how to onboard new churches, new leaders, new pastors. And we need to have a system that meets the need of where they are when they have need for art cards, when they need to have need for certificates. We need to have it in the language that they're coming from. So yeah, I want a system that makes sure that if you're in Pakistan or you're in Ghana or you're in Brazil, it's going to look like the country of your native language. And then it's still official because it came from us, but it meets the needs of your national identity to make it show that you're not a joke where you're from. You are part of an institution that got your back. And our bishops don't have to worry about it not looking correctly because we've done the necessary work to make sure that we're meeting the need in our present time. We're in over 115 countries. And why don't those pastors have their elders documentation? Why don't they have their certificates? And some of them, they're us. They belong to us. Let's service them because it builds out that they're not going to say the name Damon Stevenson as the general secretary. They're going to say Church of God in Christ and Obispo John Drew Shear. I'm happy for them to say the name of my bishop. But the problem is that we don't even give them the opportunity to have a conversation in the identity of the spiritual family that they're a part of. What's wrong with us? I got to stop. I mean, last thing we'll do is I'm going
to ask you one last question before you tell me about the summit. Because I heard you talking about the bishops. And one of the concerns is that when you talk about what these pastors, elders, whatever, don't have, one of the concerns that I have heard and I hear all the time is that a lot of that was taken out of the jurisdiction and the bishop's hands and taken over by the secretary's office. How will you reconcile that constitutionally? Not that it's a problem, but it hasn't been reconciled constitutionally as it relates to the credential holders, new pastors, because everything right now is going now to the secretary's office that used to be done by the jurisdictional bishops. I don't know why. I don't know how you reconcile that. How do you reconcile that with, of course, the constitutional responsibility of jurisdictional bishops to make their own pastors and elders and then send that to the secretary's office, whereas now it has to go through the secretary's office, be approved by the secretary, then sent to the bishop? How do you fix that problem that was created there?
Number one, we have to respect the office of the jurisdictional bishop. We have to respect that they have been given constitutional certain authorities, but at the same time, we got to make sure that the autonomy of your jurisdiction does not take away from the liability of your national. So we got to be fair in having the conversation of saying you have the right to appoint elders, but they still need to go through certain systems for them to be part of the national church.
Let me ask you this question, Secretary. Let me ask you this question on that point. Because here's a concern that I've always had about it. What kept I was in Atlanta when the Catholic Church started getting really hit with a lot of lawsuits. What kept the national church from being able to be involved in any of those, they always got dismissed on the national, because as our church is set up, we did it like the Catholics to where every jurisdiction can incorporate in and of itself. It's supposed to be. That's the Constitution. When you look at our Constitution, it says every jurisdiction has the right to incorporate. The problem is with the Catholic Church, because every jurisdiction, every diocese is independent of the national church in terms of corporation, they had to sue the diocese and not the national and not the Roman Catholic Church, because everything that dealt with those priests was a part of that diocese.
Correct.
When you make it a national, when the church takes over, the credentialing. Now it becomes a national and moves away from a diocesan issue. And so I think we end up going reverse of the Catholic Church to whereas theirs is a diocesan issue. So yeah, the Catholic Church Diocese of Los Angeles lost billions, but the Catholic Church lost nothing.
Okay.
The diocese of whatever lost whatever, but the national church lost nothing. You see what I'm saying? How do we fix that?
No. We're actually doing the same system.
Okay, explain
it to me. Okay, so you have to understand that the only part that the national church plays in the actual creating of elders and pastors and missionaries and all of that is making sure that their paperwork is correct for them to pay their reports to the national. But the actual leadership and the actual functionality of them rest in their jurisdiction.
Correct.
So
got you.
The reason why it still rests in the jurisdiction, because the jurisdictional bishop appoints and he tells the national church that says, is all of your paperwork in place for the appointment? And then we send it back to them for them to sign it. So in our actuality, we still have a veil of liability that the Catholic Church has. The Pope still, he appoints bishops and cardinals.
Right.
But tell you how to finance your diocese. He don't say that we're going to close all the churches in New York. That's the diocese that makes that decision. So we still have that veil of separation. But the thing is that it's not always about money. It's also about the semblance of the fact that we did put some internal controls in place. I think we should educate more. I think that we should have everybody go to school a little bit more. I think we should have a national system that they talk about this national book, but also we should have a local component, because my history is from Nebraska. I had 5 great bishops here, but also I had the first general supervisor. But that conversation ain't part of your conversation from where you from. So you should know the history of where you're from on top of what your national history is as part of your education, because what we've done is we've facilitated the ability to lack training and doing more performance oriented and preaching orientation and nepotism over the fact of making sure, are you learned in your craft? And we're going to create a malpractice as we get further away from making sure that they understand the fundamentals of what ministry is about at the same time. But there is some distancing between that already in place.
How do you juxtaposition of the national sexual misconduct with the veil, as you say, of protection to protect the national church? How do we, from a litigation standpoint, if the national church is doing that and someone breaks through the cracks or something happens, what is the defense of the church when whatever victim comes and says, but you vetted this guy and you passed him? You see what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to figure out, when that's taken, you kind of created a situation, not you. I get done the job of creating a situation to where that veil can be pierced, it would seem. How do we fix that?
It doesn't need to be fixed. The veil is already set in place. I'm in the childcare industry.
Yes, sir.
And one of the rules that we have before you can ever work, in fact, I'm in the middle of doing one right now. What has to happen is that before you can work in the childcare field, they make you do a FBI fingerprint check. They make you do, in my state, we have a child abuse and adult abuse registry that you have to register for. You also have to do what they call a report of law enforcement. And then they have a field where they call it release of information for review with the law enforcement. So not only do they tell you to tell us, they also ask you for a form for us to review it. Okay, there's 4 different mechanisms that we have before you can even work in the field. But why do we still have babies that are being molested? Why do we still have kids that are being abused? Because the simple fact of the matter is that you could be right today and wrong tomorrow. But the thing is that they make it so that they have an internal system where we have system where every 5 years you have to do it again. So you make it so that you're doing it on a regular basis, because why am I going to report what I'm doing wrong to the national church? And my bishop is, let me be honest, some of them are older, or some of them are dealing with their children, and they're not telling all the information. And so they're not going to report to us what's being done. But if we make it a mandate and we say that we're doing a reporting system concerning those particular cycles, which is this conversation that we're having now, then we look at them and say, I can't certify that person. I might have been able to certify them 5 years ago, but today they can't do it. Also, they have what we call the elevated history check now, which means that I had to pay a higher fee if I wanted to run for general secretary than just the baseline of me having this just a regular background check. And I believe that our security department under Bishop McMillan and the secretary's office and the adjutancy areas, they're doing more of actually not just co-signing them as people come through, but doing the right mechanism to say that I can't put my name on that. And if they mess up after I put my name on that, guess what? I don't believe we've done it correctly. I believe in pulling certificates. If I know that you got arrested, I know that you beat a woman to death, I know that you did X, Y, and Z, whether you're a male or female, I'm going to take the certificate. Now, at the end of the day, they say, I want the piece of paper back. Guess what? You ain't going to get every piece of paper back. But I'm going to make sure that I'm going to back up that I sent a letter saying you are unaffiliated, or you no longer have the authority of credentialed member of the church. You back to a lay member, because everybody coming to us, all ye that labor in heaven.
Because that was the argument, and the concern was many bishops were saying, okay, well, we believe in forgiveness, we believe in second chances, we believe in da 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 da, and so that becomes the crux, and that's why I'm asking the question as secretary, what your view is on it, because I know that that's a concern that some bishops have because of where they come from.
And I'm gonna be honest with them. I'm gonna say, Bishop, you mean to tell me that he beat the snot out of his wife? And you're going to make it a symbol that's going to be the representation of who we are as a national church, as you as a bishop. It's not just about forgiveness. It's not just about restoration. It's about doing it appropriately. We need to make you start over again and make sure that we have an understanding that it's about the protection of the whole. Because I learned this in the field that I am in. If you allow bad habits, and you allow bad habits to know that there's a system for them to be restored, they're going to do the bad habit with the full understanding that it ain't that big a deal no more. And
okay, so you just piqued my brain. You just piqued my brain, because here's my problem. And I think you
give me in trouble.
I did. I'm in trouble. I'm already in trouble. And you said we go long anyway, so I'm already in trouble. Here's my question. Or when you said systems, I feel like that may be when I asked you about legislation and constitution. That's the part that seems to be missing, is that that when we implemented this misconduct, whatever we're looking at, there was no system put in place by which, okay, if this happens, then this is what happens, and then this is what happens. Because our Constitution is always about misappropriation. This is, non-feasance, misfeasance. There's a level of steps which triggers trials, which triggers getting your credentials pool. And it would seem as though, even if you're going to do that every 5 years, then what are the steps? What are those processes by which, okay, if you are convicted of this in that period of time, or you're dealing with this, or you deal with that? Because I'm thinking of someone who I know who is a wonderful, he's a nice guy, but he's had those issues. James Fortune. Everybody knows who James Fortune is.
Of course.
James convicted of assaulting his wife, hitting her with, so he went over to Mike McClure, McClure Jr. in Alabama.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mike restored, helped him restore himself. What I'm saying is that without your system in place, then what happens to him? Because what he was 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, he's not now. And without some sort of constitutional mechanism to say, okay, but at this point, third time, fourth time, whatever that situation is, then we pull or you lose your credential, then I think we end up possibly with a constitutional issue because there's no trigger that would trigger a trial. Does that make sense to you? There's no
it makes us more liable.
Yes.
And you got to understand. I've told people this. I'm a CPR first aid teacher. I'm an instructor, and one of the things I tell them all the time is that they have what they call in CPR first aid the Good Samaritan rule, which means that if I decide not to take care of you, you can't sue me. But in reality, you can sue me.
You can.
Anybody can sue anybody. The key is that it's not about that I can be sued. It's that am I covered?
Right. Am I liable for this?
If I'm covered, then I'm good because we're in a very litigious society. So at the end of the day, it's about making sure that I believe that we should have systems for taking out, and I believe that we should have systems for restoring. And we must have a clear guideline system for restoration, because I don't believe that the sin of yesterday must be a stain permanently on anybody if we're truly believers of God and we're followers of Christ. But we do need to penalize.
Yeah, because right now we've got it for these things, but this being a new thing that we've added, we didn't add anything on the other side.
New society, and so
and it's like the Bible says, where there's no law, there's no transgression. You can't. Exactly. How do you hold me accountable to what I don't know the consequences to be there?
And as you're saying it, my mind is sitting there saying, "Oh my God, you just gave me another job." Oh my God, I literally have to now have a conversation about the fact of having a conversation, bringing the bishops into the conversation, bringing the pastors and elders into the conversation, and even the women's department, because the women ain't without fault. We ain't gonna like they all saint and all good because but we always got a bad apple sometimes. So let's have those conversations so that we build as a collective, the General Assembly resolutions have restoration and penalization steps that are galvanized into our national bylaws and procedures for how we proceed. Absolutely. And that's why we got to have these conversations. And sometimes I got to shut up and listen. I'm going to have a forensic audit retreat. I'm bringing all jurisdictional secretaries in. If the bishops want to come on in. I'm locking the doors. We ain't doing no ties. We ain't trying to look cute. You're going to be comfortable. We're going to throw everything on the whiteboard and have a conversation about what we need, what we have not taken into consideration. And my job as a secretary is that I need to shut up and find out what we need to do, and then sit back with my core team and say, this is where we need to attack for where we're going to go forward in the future. I have a vision for out the door, but now I need to know exactly what direction we need to go next. And you can't do it within your own confines. You need to bring people in where they don't feel like they are being, what's the word I want to use here? They don't feel they are being, they feel free, where we give them free. Where they can say, this is how I feel about it. So put them in work groups and say this, and then let's put it on the board. And then say, it's not about, well, he said this and she said this. No, this is what was discussed so that we can put it on the board, so that we can say, do we need to deal with that? And sometimes you got to timeline it. And some things you just got to say, I can't touch it. Sometimes I love how Bishop G.E. Patterson used to say it. He says, sometimes I have to learn that I am just a traffic cop. I'm supposed to put the orders in the places that it needs to go, because sometimes it doesn't belong to me. And so because it doesn't belong to me, I send it where it needs to go. And then when it comes back, they can't say that Damon did it. Pastor Stevenson.
Mhm.
Pastor Stevenson was a conduit for us to have the conversation without fear of retribution, because it's time for us to have those conversations. So let's talk.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Bishop G. Patterson said that when he was installed as presiding bishop
Do you
in
remember that?
2000. I remember that. I remember that.
That I am not to do everything. I am supposed to send it where it's
Yep.
supposed to go.
Where it's supposed to go. That's what he said. Man, I love this conversation. I appreciate you having the conversation. Many people, as you know, do not run over here because they don't. They don't like. I'm going to ask you questions, and I've turned down interviews. I'm being honest with you. I've had people who want to come that I wouldn't let come because I don't do free conversations. I want to have an organic conversation. I want you to be able to answer whatever I'm going to ask you. Absolutely. Because sometimes I'm not even thinking about it until we get into it, and so I don't really like the prepared stuff. So people don't come for that, And they tell me, they said, "Joy, man, you might ask me anything." I said, "I might." So and you got to be if you want to be a leader. I believe leaders answer questions. I mean, that's what we do. We shouldn't be afraid of, even if the answer is "I don't know," or "I have to think."
I don't know is a right answer. Sometimes
that's the right answer. Sometimes.
And I got to be okay with the fact that I don't know. And sometimes I'm a leader and I don't know. And a good leader says, "Let me get back with you." I mean,
absolutely.
But I'm listening and I'm open to conversation. I wasn't scared. I know who you are. Look, I know how you feel. But you know what I learned?
I will say whatever, man. But I'm always be respectful. I'm always be respectful. I respect leadership. I love people who are willing to serve, especially in this church. I love this church. I think you know that because you watch me. So I absolutely love this church. To me, it is always constitutional.
Crazy. You're
I'm absolutely crazy. I'm bona fide crazy. I ain't scared enough.
I'm gonna call a spade, but guess what? I'm crazy enough to get online, but also I was crazy enough to stand in a field where the leaders told me, "You're crazy if you think you could ever serve as a general secretary of church." But you realize that Bishop Lyles was not a bishop when he became the secretary.
That's right.
So
used to not all of our people used to not be bishops. The chairman of the General Assembly used to not be a bishop.
when did it become a rule that I couldn't run until I became a bishop? I have a plan. You see, I have a plan. And honestly, it frees me up to actually do the plan if I'm not responsible for being an Episcopal leader. Let y'all take care of the houses. Let me take care of the documentation to make sure.
To me, when you are not a part of the group, it is much easier to lead because I don't have to be beholden to any one thing. I don't even think that people should, even if you were a bishop, and I said this in 2022, I don't think you should be a part of the College of Bishops when you get into certain positions, because you cannot do it without there being a conflict of interest. And so just as general board members cannot serve in the Board of Bishops and serve in the General Assembly and be general board members, I think any elected position kind of has to be that same way. I am crazy, but only because you got to be crazy to want to be a leader. You really have to be. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I told him, I said, you can't think. I said, you know how much of an ego you have to really believe that you can lead, or that you can stand in front of how many ever people and convince them that God is God, or whatever the case may be. Leadership in and of itself is, you got to be a little bit crazy. You got to have a lot of ego. You got to be strong. You got to not be scared or timid or intimidated. You got to be willing to answer questions, and you face those things. So I really appreciate it. I've learned. I told Steve Harris is a good friend of mine. We talk on a regular basis, and he had somebody on his show who I didn't even know who he was. I said, man, I didn't even know who this was until I saw him on your show. He said, I tried to tell him, and didn't nobody know who he was. I said, no, I didn't know. But when I listened to him, I said, man, who is this guy? Because he was I didn't know how accomplished he was. I didn't know how much he had worked at the church. And you are like that for me. So I know what other people's platforms are. but yours is probably the most comprehensive I have heard as a plan. And I'm a plan guy. I'm a guy that I need to plan, and I need to know how you work that in constitutionally. And if it all makes sense, then that's the right person. And so I will be most assuredly, I don't think I've only endorsed probably 4 or 5 people ever on this platform, but I most assuredly will be endorsing. I think you'll be a good change for the General Secretary's office. I like Bishop Rudolph. I like him. I don't know Dickerson Wells at all like that, but I believe your plan is better. And I believe that your plan for the church and your heart for the church is something that will benefit the church greatly. And so I see St. James is in here. St. James got 18,000 subscribers, and a bunch of them are church categories. I know Jives is watching. People listen to who they choose to listen to, and they look for different reasons. But man, I'm gonna be pulling for you.
Thank you.
Because I think something different is what we need. I don't think it has in it. We miss so many quality people looking for the name we know.
Mm-hmm.
And I never like the fact that they don't like to have forums. They don't like to have
real
forums.
Ask real questions. I told you, let's do a real question. Let's do a real conversation. I want that. And I've asked for it, but I think they were scared to get me in a room.
They won't do it. You're too smart. You're too smart. And then the people who would support you, and you probably have found this out as I did. A lot of leaders will support you, but they won't support you until you get the platform.
Exactly.
And so they will love you, they will support you, but they won't step out on a limb because they don't want to be seen as contradicting this guy over here for their own political
or the institution.
It's the institution. It's 100%. They don't want to be on the outside of the boys' club. And so that makes it sometimes difficult. And I hear it all the time. I get it all the time. A lot of people watching the cuts. A lot of people call me in the cut. And it's just like, but bro, I just need you to be brave enough to stand up, because if enough of us stand up, the change we seek is the change we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
If enough of us, it's a generation of us. I'm 49. It's a generation of us.
Same age.
That we're doing something different, and we see it different, and we know how to do it different. And I said to the preacher today, a bishop today, I said that we're losing the 25 to 55 because we ain't gonna sit around waiting all day for y'all to figure it out. We have too many opportunities to do too many things, too many other places.
And these up and comings are taking they capitalizing on the fact that we won't move and we won't elevate. And we love the church. That's the part that the problem is that the 25 to 55 literally are 3rd and 4th and 5th generation. And y'all as a group look at us like we kids.
Yep.
I'm almost 50 and you act like I'm a baby. I've been coming to General Assembly for over 35 years. And you look at me like, I just got here. You don't know nothing yet. You still sucking on milk. And we're like,
but that's how they treat us.
Grandkids, and you looking at me like I'm.
We got grandkids. We still children. But they forget Bishop Owens was on the general board at 43. Bishop Blake 47. Bishop Mason was the senior bishop at 41. This was not really an older man's church. It was always a young man's church. But because the young men got older
and tried to hold, but the reason that they tried to hold, and this is my concern, is that number one is that we made a bad habit of not making it easy for them to step aside. Number one,
we don't have a 403 plan for anybody in this church from a national level. No retirement.
Right, and then the other thing is that we also miss the fact that that we don't have 401, and then we don't have a governance for us to put them in a position where we respect them when they're gone. So
That's
we
right.
treat them as soon as they're out like they're no longer relevant, when we need to respect them and keep the relevancy of who they are. I don't have a problem with you calling her state supervisor emeritus. I don't have a problem with you calling her district missionary emeritus after she served for a number of years. I don't even have a problem with you calling him jurisdictional bishop emeritus. But when you tell me that once they become jurisdictional bishop emeritus, that the presiding bishop ain't going to show up for the funeral no more because he's not a bishop in jurisdiction, but we let him go, not because we don't love him, but we needed a fresh leader with fresh legs to keep the race going. And you disrespect him as the leader that he was, because
now the next guy won't sit down. Right.
And so the next guy looking at you saying, well, if you're going to do me like that, I ain't going to leave. I'm going to die in this spot. And then we have jurisdictions that are dying. We have churches that are dying because we don't have an ability to facilitate respect and financing. And if we do a better job of doing that, you were talking about that 500,000 members paying that report. Imagine if we built out a retirement system for bishops.
Yes.
Where we put them in a position where we say, when you turn 75, 80, 85 years old, we're writing you a check.
Right.
For $500 and $600 a month. It's okay. We got to do what we got to do because they served a long time. We put insurance on them. We make sure that we don't make them pay the national report no more. Now we give some responsibility to the jurisdiction that they serve, but some of it we need to give it because they were a lion from the church overall, and we got to celebrate them in the way that they were for us. And we're losing because we don't respect it. I learned
to me, for you to serve as a jurisdictional bishop for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, in your jurisdiction didn't create an IUL. They didn't create an annuity. They didn't create anything that you could have put $500-$600 a month in.
Right.
And by the time you hit 75, you could have retired with $1 million, $2 million and went on about your business. Because that's what the other people do. I'm
That's
just
what
saying it like that. That's what the other people do.
And
I'm ain't figuring out how to do it
on your behind when you become the bishop.
You see what I'm saying?
I know we getting the policy. You know, I know we get paid.
I'm putting the key man on you. I don't care what happens. Because the minute you close your eyes, we get paid.
And we're going to build it out that as soon as we get the next one, we put one on you.
There you go.
From you, we're going to because we got to make sure that, because we got to
make sure it's paid.
We got to build out the business, but we got to respect them when they can barely walk, where they're doing strollers to get up to the podium. Let them rest. Let's celebrate them. Let's speak to them. Bishop Blake is one of the finest men, but he doesn't come out as much because they're protecting him. But it's good that they're protecting our history, but also making sure that we paying him too. And we celebrate him on a regular, but he ain't got us in that chair no more.
Right, exactly.
We got a leader with fresh legs. So let's take, I told them I'm an upgrade. You know, everybody I'm running against is older than me. I'm an upgrade. I can literally gallivant across the country. I can go to every meeting. I could come up with some new concepts. If you're tired, I believe that we need to respect Bishop Lyles. I don't agree with everything he's about, but let me be clear. We can create a suite for this one and a suite for that one. I put the name on the door because at the end of the day, all he got is a name for the suite, but I got the office. It's still the office. I don't care if his picture can be on the wall all day.
But you know, we have so many in history. Bishop A.B. McEwen, we have so many that we don't consider any. Sometimes your time is just up. It's just I said it the other night. Bishop Owens, we let him be presiding bishop until we realized it was time for him to go, and then we let him go. But we kept him on the general board.
We kept him on the general board, and when he died. You would think that he was still the presiding bishop.
You see what I'm saying? Because
we loved him.
Because we loved him. We just didn't want to be presiding bishop no more. That's all it was.
Take off. You know what he's gonna say on the picture day. Nobody can do it like
and he said it slow enough for you to catch it the first time. You know what I mean?
Me and you know his story about Raphael and Michael, and he said, looked at Jesus and said, "I'm already there." You be like,
wasn't nobody like it. Wasn't nobody like. But we just didn't want him to lead no more. We just didn't want him to be presiding bishop. Sometimes your personality does not fit the office. That's what it was. Plus, we love G. For the time.
It's the
there
time
you go.
And the generation.
That's
because,
it. That's it.
Just like Bishop Ford, he was there just enough to make his signature, and then we moved to the next. But we loved a Lewis Henry Ford.
Absolutely.
See, we're children of the church. We remember his style. He was grandpa. Yeah. Grandpa was in the seat.
Big old hands.
And he wasn't gonna preach long. And he hated the robe. We knew he hated the robe. Grandpa said, "I don't wear that robe." Nah,
he wasn't going for that. Bishop Ford wasn't going for that.
C.D. Owens holding the cup on official day. The cup in his head. He preaching to us at the same time.
Yep.
But we know
them. We know them. And it was the time, and even when you look at Bishop Patterson, the respect he had for Bishop Owen.
Exactly.
To not fight the first time.
Right.
And so
then give him his tippet when he was no longer in place, because at the end of the day, there's only one other man that serves. You respect the fact he's not the president anymore. He's not the presiding, but he still served as presiding bishop.
Still served as presiding bishop.
You can't just
gave him the respect the whole time. It's those sorts of things that I tell people all the time. Especially when they don't know me, I'm like, dude, never get it twisted. I love this church. I respect the leadership because I question, and because I'm willing to conversate doesn't mean I don't respect. Because I don't have time for personal is disrespect. To me, if it ain't constitutional and we're not talking about something beneficial to the church, I don't even really want to talk about it. I love this church. I will always honor the church. I will always honor leadership of the church, but I don't have to agree with you. And if I don't, I'm going to tell you that this is what's wrong. And what I love about you tonight is you've heard me, if you've watched me any amount of time, you know I have said, why you running if ain't nothing wrong? Because if ain't nothing wrong, why you running? I can't stand people say, I want the job, but I love the person who's there. Then what you running for? What we need you for if ain't nothing wrong?
And I'll tell Bishop Lyles all day, I love you as a person, but it's time for us to do better. And I'm tired of waiting, and I'm not going to allow you just to think that, he keeps saying your experience matters. I am so sick of him saying your experience matters. And our experience is that I have a misspelled certificate still in my office. I have people saying, I just got my blue and gold card. I didn't get it for 3 years. I have a woman that says she still don't have her certificate. She was in a forum that I was in just last Monday. She said, I still don't have my certificate. And this is the problem, is that if I'm in the middle of running against you and you don't answer to that while I'm running against you, it shows that you don't care, because you can't fix it while I'm saying it. If you don't do that, if you take the teeth out of my argument, then I ain't got nothing to say. I can say I got a certificate now. Do you know I've been saying it for 6 months and still don't got it? What's wrong with you? Come on, you should benefit, especially when you know my name. It's on the ballot. It's on the internet. It's on the website. So if I tell you spell my name wrong and you still don't give me a certificate, it lets me know that you kept saying your experience,
just don't care.
But my experience is that you don't care. That's
well, the last person to say that I remember, and then I'm gonna let you go, I promise. I remember Bishop Winbush came to the General Council of Pastors and Elders 2012. And at that time, it was a really big push to just get rid of everybody, just about. Bishop Shear was running, Bishop Porter was running, there was a bunch of folk running. We wanted almost all new. And Bishop Winbush came to the General Council of Pastors and Elders. and he said the very same thing. He said, don't throw out the experience. I know y'all want something. And I love Bishop Wimbush. Bishop Wimbush was a great bishop, but he stayed too long. And that was the time that it started to resonate with me that sometimes we have people who have just been there and we keep putting them in there. And it's almost like politics in the national, in the country, and we just keep reelecting the same people. And so we keep complaining about what's happening, but we won't make a change. And I think many people have experienced all of the same issues, many jurisdictional secretaries, which means many. I remember 2015, there are missionaries in my jurisdiction right now who still haven't gotten their credential cards from 2015. That's a real thing. That's not hyperbole. That's actually a thing. And some of them have left the jurisdiction, left the church all the way around because they thought the bishop stole the money and didn't pay their reports. And so they left. I'm talking about what I know right now. And so it's one of those things to where it's time for change. It's time for something new. It's time for someone who understands systems and policy and structure and legislation all at the same time. And how to make those things work and work within groups and group settings and understand how to work with other leaders. It is clear to me that you have that ability because you have that plan. So I am wishing you all the best of God's best for you in real life. I'm going to be pushing for you from this day until Tuesday. And I pray that the people will hear your name, will go and see you. I know thousands of people will watch this between now and Friday for sure. And I hope that they certainly will hear your heart, hear your strength, hear your plan, and vote accordingly. Thank you so much, Pastor Stevenson. I'm going to have to come to Nebraska now. You done called me crazy. I'm going to have to come to Nebraska now and hang out. I got to come hang with you, man. If it ain't nothing but for a weekend. I got to wait till next summer, though, because y'all get too cold in Nebraska for me to come hang out.
It's cold right now. It's cold right now.
Listen here, man. It is 70 degrees outside for me, so I'm not coming to Nebraska no time soon, but I wish you the best. I know you'll be in Memphis. I'm going to try to get there by this weekend, and so hopefully we'll see you while we're there. Blessings to you. Blessings to you, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Your platform, and God bless you for what you do. Continue.
Thank you so much. You're always welcome. Always welcome. Come back anytime.
God bless.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. That was Pastor Damon Stevenson running for General Secretary. He certainly has my vote. I love a plan. I love a person with a plan. I see you, Eternal Artist 44. The pastor ain't getting you ain't getting your pastor's card back. It ain't happening. That's my first time. I did not know him before tonight. This is my first time meeting him, even though he has watched the platform. I thank him for doing that. A lot of people watch us, and so we appreciate those who do. I'm certainly, I love a plan, y'all. I love a person with a plan. That to me means more than anything, because that's about preparation. And so when you go to the polls, when you go to vote in General Assembly, remember Pastor Damon Stevenson. I do believe that that's the plan that we need in this hour. And so wishing him the best. I told y'all I like, as you heard me say, I like Bishop Rudolph. Personally, I like him. I don't know Bishop Dickerson Wells. I do know that it's time for Bishop Lyles to do something different, whatever that is. And so to me, I would say when you pull that lever, pull it for Pastor Damon Stevenson. Thank y'all for hanging out. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. I'm gonna give you all the results of our people's election for general secretary right now. Bishop Rudolph is taking off with this thing. That's a popularity. I know what that is. And so we're going to be praying for you all to get out there. Make sure you go and vote. Make sure you go and pull the tab if you haven't already. Make sure that you, hold on, let me put it up real fast. Make sure you take you hit the QR code. And I'm on my way out of here in just 1 second. But please make sure you hit the QR code and go and make sure that you vote with us. Let the people know what you think and how you feel. All you got to do, take your phone, put it up to the QR code. It will automatically come up. You click on it, and the election will be in your hands in a matter of 2 seconds, and it takes you less than 5 seconds to vote. Hit send, and it will immediately give you the updates on what is happening. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow night with the results, and we will be watching the service together and commenting and talking about what's happening. See y'all on tomorrow night. Thank you so much for being a part. If you would like to sow into this platform, if you want to help us out, and keep the party rolling and make sure that we can do the things that we need to do. All you got to do, our Cash App is $Heat Show, $Heat Show, or you can use Zelle at heatshowcomments@gmail.com. That's heatshowcomments@gmail.com. Your $10, your $20, your $25, your $30, your $50, your $100 always helps us to do what it is that we need to do. So you can Zelle right there to heatshowcomments@gmail.com, or you can Cash App us at $Heat Show. That's $Heat Show. You'll see the logo for the Heat Show right in the corner, and that will do everything that it is that you need to do. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all on tomorrow. Y'all pray for us. We'll be praying for you. And Gail will be back with us on tomorrow. She had to take care of a family issue. All right. Be blessed.